Hope everyone is doing okay out there on this happy St. Patrick's Day. We're getting ready for a fun episode of The Vice, and hope y'all will join us. We all kinds of interesting things going on with a couple of our players. We've had lots of excitement over the last, 3 or 4 episodes with some combat, and then a huge escape out of the town of East as a netherwing dragon attacked sort of the big bad of our world. And and then of course now our party has discovered that not all is well with everyone in the party. Hey Wiley Hobbit, how you doing? How is the audio mix for you? I've got a new song I'm using today, and there's with those piano hits, and are they coming in really hot? Or are they seeming okay? Also, the thunder on the rain. It might take a minute for all to chime in. Okay. Yeah, I of course was playing with it after I asked you, so let me know as we move along. I think I've got it balanced, but there's some louder parts and some softer parts, so let me know. There's a big thunder crack about a minute into the rain. Like that one. That's not even the loudest one. Let me know if the other one seems too hard. And then also, like I say, there's some of these piano weirdnesses that might be hitting a little hot as well. So just let me know if you could. You can be my ears on the ground out there. Hey, Dopey JT. Welcome. How are you doing? Thank you for the subscription. I do appreciate it very much. Get your flex in there. Welcome to the channel. Glad you joined us. Is this your... this is your first time in, too, as well. Well, welcome. We play here every Saturday, and we do it. We run our channel 100% for charity. If you'd like to donate, you can shop in the doobly-doo down below, or feel no pressure towards that. There is a link there as well to our charity that we're sponsoring this month, which is the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. Let's say that 5 times fast. Which provides instruments to underfunded school systems. So if you are, you might have a local chapter near you. They always are looking for volunteers. And especially if you have any skills with music or musical instruments, especially musical instrument repair, I guess, they are looking for you. Hey, well, so glad to have you in. Hey, Shuggy Pixels. Yeah, I don't like the time zone either, and it's only going to get worse, Shuggy. It's going to be another hour when you all switch off of daylight savings. I forgot the weird Australia thing is that we move 2 hours apart, not just move an hour apart and then get back on the same. Yeah. I know, it's going to be 4 a.m., which I swear... I guess, was it 2 a.m. that he played with us last summer? I swear last June, in his first episodes, it was 4 a.m., not 2 a.m. But maybe it was 2 a.m. Because we used to go live at noon. And we moved it to 2 when Templar moved. To New Zealand. So that he could still play with us because he was going to have to leave the campaign. So we moved it 2 hours later, which I thought made it so that he would never be earlier than 6 a.m. But I guess he was at 6 a.m. For some reason, I thought he was all the way at 8 a.m. I don't know. Time zones, they're confusing. I don't like them. I don't like it. No, sir. No, sirree, Bob. I do not. But anyway, so welcome back to the issue at hand. Welcome, Dopey. It's nice to have you in. Whether you're coming from Encounter Roleplay or from Dungeons & Dragons or even Turncloaks. glad to have you aboard. We do have a good time. We've got sort of a little bit of a Fallout episode this time. Not Fallout. Well, I guess it is almost like Fallout, the video game. But lots of things sort of came to a head over the last couple episodes, and our party is kind of reeling from all of the things that are going on. So we will see as everyone. Golly, I've got stuff dropping everywhere. There we go. I knew I had a cup in here. Don't mind me as you realize just what a mess my office is behind me. Well, I know that I know I get really focused during the session and can't interact that much with Chat Wiley. So I try to have at least 15 minutes with you guys beforehand because I know I try to look over and catch, especially if you at me in the chat. But if I get deep into story or like running combat or anything like that, I kind of have to put my blinders up, or else I get distracted and sort of pull our players out of their immersion. And so I'm just trying my best to still give you all some time that y'all deserve for supporting our channel and the community and everything else. So I am so glad I got to spend a little bit of time with you guys, have you all to myself while our crazy the crazy green room, it looks like, is talking about probably, I guess there was some finale for Drag Race. I have no doubt that we've got Danny, Alicia, Derek, and Kyle talking Drag Race. Templar looks a little shell-shocked, but everyone else seems to be having fun back there in the green room. No, it's good because I do not have any problem with. I feel worse that I'm not a good enough a DM. I mean, like Will, I don't know how Will does it. He'll be like sitting there, like literally narrating to us and typing into chat at the same time, and my brain's not that good. It's just not. I'm very focused, single source, and I know the rest of the cast loves it because with a cast as big as ours, with 7 people, let's face it, sometimes you can have. I mean, we have whole episodes where sometimes we really don't touch on someone for more than 5 to 10 minutes. Chatting with them and hanging out with us and being active in chat is one of the things that makes this such a special game for all of us, I think. Man, oh man, oh man. But yeah, no, time zones are a horrible thing. I try to, and it's certainly going to get interesting as we move forward. Things are starting to really coalesce, and one of my big challenges as a storyteller is weaving these 7 plots together. And Falcon's Crest is where a whole lot of it sort of all starts to really get interesting. Hey, good morning, Kit Badward. That has been, and of course, watching Matt Mercer do it is always amazing. I will even say I'm trying. Yeah, let me just bite off more than even Matt Mercer does to really. While there are certain arcs that are very one character dependent, I've tried to make most of these arcs because we have this big sort of fate thing happening in our world and whole prophecy that to try to keep having most everyone's story be tied together with if at least one, if not 2 other players. And it doesn't always stay the same. So it's not as though you end up with 2 or 3 separate groups. It's that for a while, Iska's and Luna's story might be tied together, but then it could be that it's Luck and Luna's is tied together. So it's just it gets interesting. I try my best. I mean, my biggest thing is, man, notes. Dear Lord, notes, and I will tell you how critical it is that we decided to save all these episodes on YouTube, because I can't tell you the number of times where my notes are crap and I have to go back and watch the session to be like, okay, back in Sojourn's Crossing, I did a thing and it was supposed to lead up to another thing. Did I ever make that happen or not? Or is it really in there somewhere? I mean, it took me a while with the whole... I know I'd thought about it 100 times about dropping in about Darixis and the gas lanterns, and how it got its name, the Sunset City, to tie back to the Duke of Sunsets. And I know in my mind, I had said it, I had dropped that hint 100 times. I think I dropped it once. And it was back inside the Vice when everyone was looking at spreadsheets and all that crazy mechanics. And I had dropped what was needed to kind of be something that people picked up on and remembered. So learning for me as well. Don't bury your hidden too deep. Hey, Ishman. Yeah, I wore my green. Actually, I was trying to figure out. I was like, I don't have a D&D green shirt. The only thing I have is I have this really obnoxious Stringer tank that has Hulk on it, and I was like, I don't think I want to wear that on stream. But I had my Turncloaks Christmas one, so it's my Turncloaks Christmas. Yay! Because Turncloaks is always such a happy thing. So that's my Turncloaks Christmas one, with art by Kess. Let me see. I need to pull up their whole. Kess, where are you? Oh no, have I lost? Is it Kess the Bard? No, it's not Kess the Bard. Oh no, Vest, that's it. There it is. Vestwind. Whew, sorry. Let me do a link. So artist, woohoo. Did the art for this shirt. Hey, Wildcate, how you doing? What are you talking about? It's like even my eyes turned green with me wearing this shirt and the wall behind me. My eyes, which normally are not that green looking, in fact, usually with the blue bread spread they look blue, are looking all kinds of green today. Kent, how you doing, buddy? Salt Lord Ross, how you doing? We'll be getting underway in just a minute or two. I'm not sure. I think we've got Celia doing her call-in after work again. Don't know that for positive, though. I think so. But yeah, no. Oh, I love this shirt. It's like I need more Turncloaks merchandise in my life. Oh, there's good guy. Hey! Turncloaks. Oh my god, right? So, we literally have only recorded one episode past that. So we've all been sitting since we recorded that wondering what the hell. Because we're recording tomorrow like 5 episodes. So, yeah, Wiley, we only know one episode beyond that craziness. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Wiley. Yeah, no. And usually most of the players are a little bit louder than I am, so that's great. Yeah. So, yeah, no. Whew. So, yeah, we're recording tomorrow, and I'm like literally mentally bracing myself for what's to come, because Will. Whew. I thought I did horrible things to my cast, but No, I mean, we all knew what we were signing up for. Hey, Mecha Spider, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Glad to see you here. We're going to be getting going here in about 3 minutes. Oh, I forgot to put up my counter even. Look at me, pro streamer. It's only taken me a year, and I still either can't start on time or forget to put up my countdown. Oh, yeah. Nice, Mecha. Were you streaming Mecha, or are you just playing in real life? Anyway, looks like we're just about to get the whole cast here. Let me tell them that we're going to be 2 minutes. Nice. Oh, there's nothing quite like rolling real dice. I will say, though, I've been amazed. You know, most of my D&Ding lately. Hey, look at Dragons just up in the old subscribe. Woot woot. Flex. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry about the old emotionally torture for Josh. If you've listened to episode 25, you know what kind of emotional torture he was going through. Well, let me get my ears on so we're all set to go. Had to get a little extra charge on the old headset. And I'm going to let them know we're going to be... Okay, guys, about 30 seconds. We'll be putting you on. I will see you guys on the other side.
Whoop, whoop.
And here we are with our full cast ready to go.
Almost full cast.
Almost full cast. Oh yeah, where's Celia? Okay. She's coming in from work?
I think so. Cool. We're not sure, but we think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know she's been picking up those shifts where she has to work until 3. So anyway, let me get folks in their normal positions so that we can get this show on the road.
That we are on the road.
You're so funny.
No,
and get luck there.
I think we're very definitely off-road at this point.
I was going to say off the road, off the rails, you know, all those things. While I'm getting our cameras fixed up, I would totally go to Danny because he just took a bite, but I'll be nice and go to Templar Warden instead. Tell us who you are, who you're playing today.
I just took a bite as well. Okay,
Oh, whoops.
I am Templar Warden. I am playing Hidden by Axel, the Tabaxi Wizard, the excitable, ever-curious Catman who is now totally decaying. Yeah, completely falling to bits. He's gonna die in a few days. You just, yeah. It's all fun. All fun and games until you die. Looking forward to the session. Hopefully he gets some time to study books for once.
Wouldn't that be nice? Next up, we have Dragons Are Cats, looking much less dusty this week, with our new Australian slang master.
How's it going?
With Sexy Mike.
Yeah, shrimp on the barbie, mate. Yeah, gonna go down to Bunnings, get the snag off the cookout they're doing down there. Grab a couple of new set of pluggers, mate. I'm Dragons of the Cats, and I'm going to be playing Ishgrin, the Eladrin Warlock of the Frost Prince, who's had a wonderful time recently in the Vice and in East. It's been a marvelous time. He lost his pinky toe.
He did.
Yeah. Yeah. 9 toes, the mighty 9 toes.
Hey, it's very timely, I hear.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Bird versus Plane.
Hi, folks. I am Bird versus Plane, coming to you live from a farm in the middle of Illinois. So if I'm choppy or cutting in and out today, I do apologize. I will do my best to be Iskatol, the half-elf bard, fate singer, gunslinger extraordinaire, who's immensely frustrated with everyone and everything.
But not nearly as... speaking of frustrated with everyone and everything, Luna gets to spend the rest of the evening with Iskren. Let's all say hi to Alicia.
Hello, everyone. I'm the illustrious NNG9. I play Lunar, Water Genasi monk, who will probably end up choking somebody by the end of this journey several times.
I don't think there's any doubt on that one.
I think could be... Hell could freeze over.
It could. It could. You are in Canada.
Possible. That is true.
There's
There's snow outside right now.
Much more likelihood where you are. He's good. He's a guy. He's got the locks of the most epic rock stars of the world. It's Good Guy Pie.
Yes, I am Good Guy Pie. And it's a wonderful day to lose everyone you love. And as an Englishman, hearing all that slang, I am very baffled right now. But let's move on, as I will be playing Luck Goldhard, Bloodhunter Extraordinaire, all the way from Elevation Hit. And this is fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Speaking of everything being fine, let's move to Tunarth.
Yeah, I'm playing Kel the Wood Elf Druid, who, sure, everything's fine, considering that his cursed undead revenant brother, who's held captive in a pouch on his belt, is slowly assassinating pieces of his soul from the inside and sucking away his life drop by drop. Yeah, there's that. So yeah, everything's fine. Fine.
Speaking of fine things that are everything being fine, I am Tall Squall. I am your DM for this game. We do run our channel 100% for charity. You can find down below ways to influence our game by donating to our charity this month, which is Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, which donates musical instruments to underfunded schools to help keep music and music education within our public school system. They are a wonderful organization. Even if you don't donate, I encourage you to click on the link, which is in the text down below. If you click on the logo, it's to donate to the stream. If you just click on their highlighted name in the text, it'll take you to their website where you can find out more about their mission and what they do around the country. They are a spectacular group, and arts is such an important part of our world, of our education, of how we learn. It is really incredible work that they're doing out there. For those of you who do watch Critical Role, you heard an amazing orchestration that was done by one of the critters that played underneath of their music. And if you tune into us on Sundays or often during our sessions, and you can find in a lot of our highlights, our very own Danny is also a composer and does wonderful custom compositions for all of us and for our game, which you will hear from time to time, depending on usually the worse it is, the more of Danny's music you hear. Not always, but in general. Usually if I've got a big something I'm doing, I'm like, Danny, can you give me a hand? I got this thing. I got this really crazy idea. Have you ever heard of this famous, incredibly difficult, I don't know, Bach? Bach's hard, right? Or Rashomanoff
Suck
or
it,
something
bird.
like Rashomanoff level composition that I want it to sound like this. Look at y'all fighting over putting the link in chat. Anyway, so to catch you all up, we rejoin our group. It is late in the evening. They are in a small cave huddled against a furious storm that still brews outside, where they had taken refuge after making a harrowing dash and escape from the town of East, which lays at the eastern endpoint of the Viceroy's Highway. While they were there, after, hey, $35 from Tunarth, nat 20s. Oh God, we need nat 20s. I assume that's one round, one each. Everyone take a nat 20 all the way around.
I'll update Jeanette's sheet.
Cool. You have it open? Yep, you're there. Cool. So after spending some time in East, where they met some friends, old and new, sent friends old and new on their way, heading on part of the mission that they have found themselves a part of, almost foretold to be a part of, sent them off on their way with the actual indigo seed itself, this large sort of mystical seed, which seems to be at the heart of a lot of things that are broken in the world. They survived and fled from a Netherwing attack on the city, which was thwarted by some mysterious figures in red robes that they had encountered before, but seemed to be a surprise to see them appear upon the walls, and most especially fending off this Netherwing dragon that wanted to attack the city, especially since the last time they saw these people within a vision that they had using the death rune, looking through the eyes of the dead. These red robe figures had actually been throwing tieflings basically into the sky to feed them to the Netherwings. Bit of a mystery around all that. Anyway, after this dragon breathed out on the city a dozen max damage on 3d4 vice surges across the city, made lots of really good and fortunate choices and really good and fortunate rolls, and were able to escape basically unscathed, and have now headed out on their new mounts, thanks to donations from our viewers, to the south. They didn't get too far, though, before heavy weather started coming in, and they had to take refuge against hail and sleet and storm. Along the way, after a failed constitution check, our friend Danny took his character Kel, was going to go into a wild shape of a polar bear because it was cold and hail, and discovered that the cursed ring he wears and the encounter with his revenant brother seemed to have somehow corrupted some of his wild shapes, and when he tried to change into the polar bear, found himself standing beside the desiccated corpse of said wild shape and unable to return to it. Then trying another, found another one dead. And sort of shell-shocked, was escorted back to the cave, where the rest of the party was waiting and trying to get just warm and out of the weather, and to sort of wait out the storm through the night. After having been up for nearly 24 hours, most everyone was exhausted. They began to notice that Axel wasn't looking so hot either. The markings of the death rune that have sort of stained the fur around his neck seemed to have grown larger, now creeping up onto his face, and in general, just a sense of unwell about him. And upon closer inspection of one of his hands, it seemed as though it might be rotting away. Iska, very concerned, waited for Luna to awake, as she had basically passed out upon reaching the cave, having 2 levels of exhaustion and had a really long, long day. After she completed her long rest, woke her up to try to give some protection so that she could actually cast a spell in this magic averse place. Was able to get an identify spell to cast, and basically upon examining the hand more closely, was basically faced a vision of the vortex at the center of the vice, really not leading to any more answers, but in fact more questions. After some coaxing and teenage rebellion, Iska and Luck were coaxed into the ring to get so that they could do a shortened long rest within there, as it only takes 6 hours for them in there to get a long rest. And Celia dropped off into reverie. Kel dropped off into reverie. Axel still sleeping. And currently, around the campfire, we basically have Luna and Iskrin awake. Iskrin having done his long rest as an Eladrin. And Luna having done a long rest as well, but don't know. Let's check in with Luna after you've just ushered Luck and Iska into the ring of what your intentions are. Going back to sleep, you have Iskrin, who is awake, and as I said, everyone else pretty much in reverie or inside the ring.
I mean, she was just asleep, so she'll keep an eye out. I'm not going to go back to sleep. So she's just sitting.
Iskrin, how about you?
Ashton's going to be doing some stretches for a bit of time. Going to be confiding in Lyle just about recapping and making a note of everything that happened in East and trying to see what little details he picked up. Also trying to focus on seeing if the wave spikes back into existence for his sight. Then he'll probably go towards the cave mouth, pat his mount Kent, and make his ears scruffy.
Yeah, he's sort of, yeah. He licks you, of course, because your glittery tastiness to our friend, to our crazy giant, as I call it, saber-toothed pug mount.
When he licks me, I'm gonna lick him back. So it's like,
He tastes really bad.
He does.
Also, a donation from Dopey JT, $4. Advantage to Kel and to Luna. Thank you very much for the donation. So Luna, as you... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to finish off by doing a little bit of just sparring and just sword work.
Yeah.
Just by training.
Okay. That's fine. And, you can do some sort of shadow training on the wall, swing at hailstones as they come down. The rain is still coming down pretty heavily. It's about 3 in the morning or so. Luna, as you sit there, Grain sort of comes over, lays down close to your hand where the ring is, and he knows, that Luck has disappeared too. He kind of gives a bit of a slight whimper and then sort of a chuff, as he kind of keeps glancing nervously at the ring. After about an hour, he just sort of finally noses up against the ring a little bit, and then will close his eyes. But as dogs do, he kind of gets, especially during a storm, that kind of twitchy whimpering as he fitfully sort of sleeps next to you.
Luna will awkwardly pet him.
He does seem to calm down a little bit. That's interesting. It seems to sort of calm you as well, as it often, pets have that weird thing, even when you're not necessarily a pet person, that they just do that thing. Dogs. They're awesome.
This is a land animal. I don't think so.
I was going to say, I'm just saying what happened, subconsciously or not. I'm a fish person as too, but there's something about dog. Anyway, let's switch over to Luck and Iska. So, Luck, you enter into the ring as you have before in the Vice. It's sort of a nondescript room, familiar, much in the style of many of the rooms of Elevation Pit. But it's not necessarily like your room from your house or anything like that. It's just that sort of familiarness of the architecture, of the temperature. Sometimes you've come to the ring, there's been an open door into sort of the other chamber. You don't see that currently. But you do see, there's a rack for you to hang your armor on. There's a wardrobe that is functional. It's not fussy or anything that would make, Luck feel uncomfortable. There is a nice bed, again, not too frilly or anything like that. Very much in the style that Luck would have. Maybe a little small table, a chair. The basics. A sort of wash basin, because as you would be used to from coming in after a day in the mine, how Faith would have a wash basin for you to get the dirt off your face. It's sort of those, not exact like home, but familiar enough that there's almost an immediate sense of ease that comes over you. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
As he sort of gets into the ring, he sort of takes his pick and puts it up on the rack, and sort of the elven mail he wears, he pulls off and lays down, taking off his shirt and sort of just clarifying that what has happened to his body has happened. Sort of noticing some scars which he used to get, sort of one that was right down here on his shoulder is now sort of gone, as it's clearly was from a stage older than this part of his life. He notices sort of one that was right across his sort of stomach area is now missing as well. It used to be like this, a big sort of bludgeoning one that looked like a rock or something fell on it, and now it's just not there anymore. And he sort of is checking his body and just going over it all as he takes a seat down on the bed and just sort of looks around and nonchalantly, not sort of directed entirely, but sort of roughly where he would expect that door to be to the other hallway, sort of say to the air, "No, it was a situation like this, something very dire. I fear it's a long story, but I think it's one that's relevant. I'm not sure if you can hear me now, Iska, but I'll say it anyway."
You, as you sort of do that, you sort of hear some kind of noise behind you, which is odd inside the ring. And as you turn around, you see the far wall is no longer there. It's just blackness. And as you look, the walls just sort of start to disappear around you until you're standing alone in darkness. There's no light around you. And with your human eyes, you really can't see anything. And you've never had this happen inside the ring before. But then far off in the distance, you see sort of this irregularly shaped, sort of generically rectangular object, about probably 3 feet wide by about 4 feet tall. And it's, you can tell there's light coming from it. And it illuminates the floor. somewhat almost in a pathway leading to it.
Hello?
As you sort of speak, it seems like it's coming toward you. You almost can't tell whether you're walking towards it or whether it's coming closer and closer. And you see clearly, really, as you were sort of examining yourself before, this change that has occurred to you, almost in crystal clarity. Where you were last night, 45-year-old man, you see this 22-year-old face looking back at you. Describe me what 22-year-old Luck looked like.
Back then, he had not as long hair, sort of round his chin area. It would be normally sort of smoothed back the best he could, still sort of normally tied up. His eyes were sort of heavy with, long hours of work and stuff, a lot more lightened up. The harsh scars that sort of were deep and many that sort of were clear would either be gone or either fairly recent or just gone. He has sort of a lot, this one sort of rough groomed beard is a lot smaller. It's not got that wonderful mustache that sort of is fairly clarifying with his facial hair. It's this sort of small, almost starting to form that sort of style. And he sort of this three scars that sort of would strike across his whole face, which was sort of old and have set in deep, are now fairly recent and are sort of still raw and would look like it would still cause pain if sort of touched too harshly.
As you look into that face, there's this weird disconnect that begins to form as your eyes drift to this younger body, but is not the same form that you had when you were that age even. You are nearly 6-8 inches taller. You are much more heavily built. And there's almost this sense of vertigo that comes over you as you suddenly stop feeling connected or recognize that body. Luck, I need you to make a sanity check.
D20, right?
D20.
Oh.
You recognize this face. It's that same weird feeling that you had on the midway when you were walking on Mims. That feeling of disconnection, and there's a tightness in your chest as this discongruence between your sense of self and your physical form begins to grow as you look at this stranger in the mirror. The single mirror then splits into 2 mirrors, and then 4, and then 8, and so on until you are surrounded by mirrors. The image that you're looking at ages to how you looked just 48 hours ago. But now that look, that face, seems like a stranger as well. And you will hear a whisper in your mind. Who are you? That image, unlike any reflection, turns and walks off the mirror and takes up its place on one of the others around you. And then, in the first mirror, in that reflection, you see yourself as Lux, the tiefling. You're actually looking up into his face, his taller, heavier form. You feel the memory of the weight of those massive, heavy horns on your head. And still, it's a stranger. There's no recognition of that actually being you. And the voice whispers again, who are you? And then you see yourself as you were when you left Elevation Pit. And still, there's no connection. The mirror's filling with these different versions of yourself. They all together. Who are you? And then you see yourself as you were 10 years ago, before you ever took the trials. You see a good man, proud father, the man you know you were, and you relax for a moment. That's something you recognize. Your focus shifts, and you see a younger version of you begin to walk up behind that familiar image in the mirror. It's not you, though. This figure that's approaching. You almost look over your shoulder to see if someone's walking up behind you. And you look back and focus on that figure. It's Strength, your son. 16, so much like you. Only thing that really separates your faces is his eyes, which are those of your wife, Faith's. Your mind savors that moment, wanting to see the two of you together. And you look back up at that face that you recognized before, that younger self. And you see there's no face there at all. It is just blank. In a panic, you look to Strength, and you see that his face is starting to fade away as well. And all of the reflections start to chant, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? The mirrors begin to spin around you. They begin to shake and shatter and start to fall in shatters and panes of glass breaking down all around you. At your feet, there's a single shard. And you see Strength's reflection in it. The outline clear, but the face seems to be fading away, and you hear his familiar voice. Dad, who am I? We're going to cut over to Iska. Iska.
I'm Iska. That's who I am.
You enter into the ring. You're frustrated. You don't want to be here. There's too much stuff going on. You know you need to. But darn it, there's too much. Sleep is unnecessary. You're Iska. You've gone for days without sleep. Tell us a little bit about what your ring looks like as you come in.
It's a lot like the last time she was in here. The last time she was in here, it was this blank canvas that she discovered and that she used to basically manifest colors around her and create this massive image. one she initially painted of 3 figures looking down upon her and all these threads interconnecting, leaving only room for herself in that. But this time the threads are everywhere. There's threads going to something, and there's like the start of a painting beginning of Axel, but with this shadow, this darkness hanging over him. There's this painting of Kel and these outlines of animals behind him, some of them darker than the other ones. There's this painting of the feeders of a red-robed figure, and one that was clearly done out of anger. And like, instead of being smooth brush strokes, there's clearly like, she was just hammering away at this thing. There's all these different images, and she's just looking over every single one of them, like for a second at a time before going to another one, slightly manifesting something to work on another. And she is just she's trying to complete a single picture, get a single full thought, but it's hard because she just wants to solve everything at the same time, and she just can't.
You go at this in frustration from painting to painting, thread to thread for nearly an hour. And something happens that hasn't happened to you before, especially when you've been in this space, when you've been working on your thoughts and your paintings. Right in sort of the nexus of all of this, a door opens, and you see blackness beyond, but there, in a pool of light, you see Luck. What? Are you still standing, Luck, or did you fall to your knees?
He's still standing, his sort of hand grabbing his head.
You see the silhouette of Luck. A pool of light.
And he's grasping his head, you said? She just, I kind of like the idea of the shot of that she turns to see this door and sees Luck possibly in pain, something wrong, knowing Luck has been battling something for a while, and she just calls out Luck. And as soon as she does, like, all the paintings and stuff that are behind her just kind of disappear and drop because she's lost focus on all of those, and she starts to sprint towards that door as quickly as she can.
You're able to go pass right through. It is utter darkness other than this pool of light in front of you with the large form of Luck just sort of hunched over. I was going to say, you were kind of examining yourself. I mean, probably you probably have your breeches on at this point, yeah? Yeah. He doesn't have his shirt on, just, no, not that way, just like exposed, emotionally exposed is where I was going.
She rushes to him as quickly as she can. I mean, like I said, with everything that's going on, something has got to be wrong. Something's got to be up. So she sprints to him.
You see a flash of something on the floor before it disappears. It just sort of catches the light weird, and then it's gone.
She looks down at that, but then back up to Luck, and if she can get in reach of him, she will, like, grab onto him and just, like, around the shoulders, hands on you. Luck, what's going on? I mean, clearly she knows that you can manipulate the ring to create an environment, and Iska wouldn't think Luck is creating this black void, because that's not the Luck she knows. So she just asks, what's going on here? Are you okay?
Iska. Iska?
It's me, Luck. I'm here. What's going on?
I'm not sure. Just not sure. As he says that, and Um, tears sort of start rolling down his eyes. He's not audibly crying, but it's almost unconsciously that they sort of come down.
She puts a hand up to his face, to kind of comfort him. But as she does, she can see that scar and how fresh it looks, and almost like unconsciously like rubs, her fingers over it as she's comforting him, just looking and examining. This is the first time they've like really had a second to address young Luck, or she's had a full moment to take in young Luck, and she is just like, Luck, I'm here. I'm here.
We're here, right?
I'm here.
You're
Me.
here.
I'm real. I'm here.
Okay. And I'm Luck, right?
Last I checked.
We manned the mountains, right? I had grey hair back then, right?
You did.
I was short.
You were.
Okay. Okay. And there was one point in where I was turning into a demon. Okay.
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But you're here now, right?
Right.
Luck, look at me. You're here now, right? As she's like looking him in the eyes.
I am here at this point, right now. Right. Right. Okay.
She will kind of take him by the hands and try to lead him back to, if that doorway is still open, to the
Still
other.
there, yeah.
She is going to very slowly like grab his hands and just try to walk him back over out of this black void. If it's still this black void, she just like wants to get Luck out of whatever this is.
Yeah, Luck, where's your mind? Is comforts of home come back, or is it still blackness?
It's jumping a little. He sort of is trying his best to maintain eye contact, focusing purely on Iska, focusing on the fact that her hand is there, the fact that she is standing there right now. That's all he can focus on now.
Okay.
Is the fact that Iska is there right now.
The blackness sort of just turns to sort of a blue jewel-like color, similar to the color of the ring, but blank as you walk towards the door on your side, Iska.
Is my side still manipulatable?
You're able to make it whatever you want. I mean, right now it's your blank canvas.
She starts to manifest something, and it's a grassy hillside with a path. It's the one where Luck and Iska first met. And she leads him there.
Yeah. You step through into this pathway, and Luck, memory starts flooding back to you, that first bit of adventure that you experienced with Iska. It's almost like this weird moment captured in the back of your mind. And you start to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with where it all began and that this all happened and that it was real. And you being this man you are now hasn't changed the person you've always been. This is just a different mind that you're in this now.
It feels like it's been so much longer than it has since we last was here.
It really does. But for now, Luck, we're here. You and me, we're here.
You see a picnic basket sort of appear there amongst the leaves and those early blooming wildflowers that you all experienced. There's, again, now the memory starts to go from the actual place to the good times. You see sunflowers up on the hill, the giant field of sunflowers you went through. You're sure just down the path you would find Luna's spring and glade. And y'all take a moment. Sit down and relax.
How about I make some tea, Luck? And how about you tell me a story or two?
Have I ever told you about the blue cricket?
I don't think so.
Wonderful. It's one of my favorites.
And we'll, unless you really want to tell the story, we'll fade out on that one.
We got another hour.
And so we fade out on Luna and Luck in the ring, back on that early first day as the storm and everything else rages around them outside the ring.
I didn't know Luna had gone in the ring, Jay. She's there
I'm
with
sorry,
Iska
Iska.
and Luck.
I'm sorry. I'm like remixing music. I wouldn't think I was going to have to pull up music from 57 episodes ago. Literally, I had to
DJing,
roll
he's
down
DMing.
through 57 episodes worth of tracks.
Where, my life's hard.
Hashtag
Where,
cringe.
So Luna, you're hanging out. You're hanging outside the ring.
Luna rocks fall.
Yeah, rocks fall. Acid happens. Actually, not acid. I was gonna say.
I'm just gonna like that's one of the new things to do. Okay.
A dipsa. You find that you're sitting in a nest of dipsas.
Oh, that's rude.
We'll say the rest of the morning, early morning, passes by. The rain is still coming down fairly heavily, but you can hear that the worst of it is going off into the distance. You haven't had hail fall in a while, and the thunder is now sort of just sort of a distant memory through these highlands. The rain is still coming down sort of in a drizzle, and it's probably about an hour past dawn before light really breaks sort of into the cave because of the heavy cloud cover and these low clouds that are still hanging over the area. The temperature is
Sorry, one thing real quick. Well, after Grain had eventually settled down and fallen asleep, Luna would volunteer to spar with Iskrin.
Ooh, okay.
Because either she'll learn something or get to hit him. Win-win.
There you go. So yeah, y'all can spar. yeah, you've got a good probably 3 hours that y'all could spar. So let's you can put down 3 hours of training. So let's go ahead and do longsword, and Lyle.
Ishrin goes cherry blossom pinks and greens. He goes full spring. He's just like. Then he gets serious. He goes, "Okay, let's do it."
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lysithea is a pretty. Yeah, let's go ahead and get them all out.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that.
There we go.
So, yeah, the first couple hours, I mean, you all are sort of getting used to sparring with each other. Iskrin probably gets a little over enthusiastic sometimes and then a little under enthusiastic other times. And on that first round, Luna, he's just really kind of coming at you.
Sure.
And
his fighting style is very direct, like a straight line.
Yeah. Then he sort of gets more the hang of it. He actually, his high roll is actually more telling of his really trying to actually teach you.
Sure.
And he's showing some of the expertise that he's learned over the thousands of years. And that Lysithea is probably coaching him a little bit in his head of how to go about this. And then he kind of, it's Iskrin, he gets distracted, gets lazy, sort of goes back into attacking the same way he was at the very beginning. And out of nowhere, those hours and hours and hours of training you've done sort of all come together, and probably a little bit of frustration with Iskrin as well. And you all but disarm him of Lysithea as you come up and sort of really press an attack on him. And maybe even show him a couple things with all of his training, you sort of learned his openings where he sometimes gets a little sloppy, and you're able to get inside of his guard and get a good round of training in. Where are we on your hours of training on the longsword?
I have 31.
31, cool.
I'd jaunt Lyle back to my hand after he goes flying away and just go, "That was incredible, Luna."
My apologies, Lyle.
Lyle's like, "Oh, that was fun. We should do it more."
Would you like to train with Luna? We can swap at some point. What do you say? Try a different weapon. Yeah, versatility.
Potentially, but let's get her a little more experienced with the sword she'll be using.
No, that's true.
It is quite a weapon that you have there, Luna.
I wish to be able to use it efficiently.
You certainly will be able to.
Has my sight previously picked up on the sword, if anything?
Yeah, no, you've already seen that it has a life and death weave wrapped around it.
I remember that. That was ages ago.
Yeah, y'all identified it. It's the death plume. Warpwood sword.
Huh.
I promise to not purposely kill you.
Hey, that's okay. I've got a few things that could protect me from it. Still got a few tricks. As long as we get away from the vice, I'll be fine. Right now, I'm still pretty useless.
I'm glad you acknowledge your station currently.
I've been acknowledging it for years.
He really has, says Lyle. I try to keep him in as much trouble as I can, But
it seems a difficult task.
It takes a village.
Truly.
So, as the sun comes up, Iska and Luck have been in the ring for about 6 hours. Gotten their long rest.
Sure, we'll pop them out.
And the sun has come up. Kel, you'll have come out of your reverie. So anything that you would want to do, you'll have been actually come out about 2 hours before they'd have popped them out of the ring. Probably right around sunrise is when you would have come out, Kel, unless you want to just sort of stay in trance for longer, depending on what you would like to do.
I think he's probably going to stay out of it as long as he can, because he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to deal with what has happened, and so he's going to put off with dealing with it as long as he can.
That's perfectly understandable. So yeah, you while you are done with your reverie, you sort of stay quiet and almost in a trance-like state, more aware than you would normally be in reverie, but I don't want to say, but almost faking it just so that no one's going to come over and bother you. And while things are quiet, listening to the rain, hearing the thin thunder going off into the distance. As I said, the sun comes up. We see Iska and Luck pop out. Axel, you waking up early, or are you snoozing in, cat napping in?
He wakes with the sunrise. If he's had a good enough rest, he wakes with the sunrise.
Okay. So you wake up. We're gonna say sun doesn't really get into here, so we'll say with the light sort of starting to penetrate the cavern. So about when everybody else does, maybe a little bit before. And Luck, Iska, you all pop out. The campfire is still going. There's a little bit of wood left, probably enough to make breakfast if Luck is so inclined. And you all sort of can start your day. Again, it looks like it's going to be a wet day, but it doesn't seem as though the weather is as dangerous. However, anyone who steps outside, you can see your breath. The temperature has definitely dropped quite a bit, as this front has moved through, bringing sort of cold air to the highlands, where it had been fairly warm when you were in east and had exited from the Midnight Weald.
After Axel has awoken, Luna will walk over to him and say, "Keep us abreast of when your situation worsens."
Do me a perception check.
Okay.
Even on an 8, Axel does not look bad.
There is no rot on his hand. The sort of there's the shyness back in his fur. He seems as energetic as every single morning. Doesn't seem any sort of lethargy in him that was sort of caking over last night. And certainly, fur looks absolutely as normal, other than the addition from before the ice.
Luna's gonna actually grab you and start turning your neck every which way and looking at your hand.
You can do a medicine check.
Sure. What's wrong? Luna? Luna?
Come on! What the?
You.
I am magic.
Oh, I hate everything.
He looks great.
Nice long rest.
Sure does. Looks great.
Good as new.
1 and a 3. Are you kidding me? I'm so bad right now. She's still gonna look. She's gonna look very confused. But she is going to let you go and not say anything.
Axel's sort of what's wrong, Luna?
Did you have an odd dream?
Well, I had all my dreams are always was odd. I think no more odd than normal. No, but no.
He had that Nat 20 dream that he's going to use sometime today.
Yep. Nat 20 my dream roll. The question is,
Let me know if you feel off later.
okay.
She's still just looking, like, staring at him.
Is it a concern stare or like a what the hell is going on stairs? Do you actually seem concerned for his well-being?
It's hard to tell with her.
That's the thing.
It's
like,
somewhere in between. Hard to say which one's winning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because are you feeling okay? You sort of exhausted and feeling better?
I am fine.
Okay. And well.
So, Iska, I mean, you're popped out. You sort of see Luna go over and examine Axel.
Hey, she also notices a Celia in the corner who has just appeared.
Woo!
Celia.
Coming out of reverie.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. You literally are just coming out of reverie. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick, Jeanette, while I get my cameras resorted.
Hi, I am Tree Hugging Druid. I play Celia Rolloran, the Ohio rogue. She does roguey things, and yeah.
There you go. As I play musical cameras to get people where they're supposed to be.
So while you're doing that, let me tell you what happened on my way to work.
Oh no.
So it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Woohoo!
I'm lucky enough that the green is on my body permanently, so I don't have to wear it. But some freaking dude, like, cut me off. And I was going like 45 miles an hour, and this dude cut me off. And then started going like 25 miles an hour. So I had to just like slam on my brakes. I am so lucky I have brand new, wonderful brakes. Or else I would have slammed right into the back of this vehicle.
Oh man. Well, be safe out there. Yeah. Get that nice nat 20 on your dex check for hitting the brakes. On brakes check.
Quick question: did we address Kent's donation? Because I know it came in when
we
things were
did.
happening.
We got Kent's, and I needed to announce it. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, so we do. We've got Kent donated $10, nat 20 to Bird and Dragon.
Hey, thanks, Kit.
And we got 100 bits from Mini Terrain Domain. Thank you.
Thank you for the bits, Mini.
Bits.
MTD.
And I'm very sorry about the potato that I am currently on video right now. I forgot my laptop at home.
It's okay. We have your lovely voice. So
You look ethereal with the office light above you.
So yes, Iska spots Celia coming out of her reverie, and then also sees Luna as she is taken Axel bodily by the head.
Picking up a class in vets. Iska won't like approach or anything, but she'll like see that from a distance, I guess, and just kind of like be eyeing Luna. I'm guessing like when the check is over, she'll like be looking to make eye contact with Luna and like a, are we pressing this right now or are we good?
Oh, sorry, New Titans had a donation as well. $35, nat 20s all around.
Thank you, New Titan.
So you guys all realize what this means. It just means that I have to do lots and lots more things lots and lot more things so y'all start burning those puppies up.
Bring it.
I need to be able to cast spells, and then I can start using them.
Did I put it in the wrong section? No, I didn't. Okay.
Okie dokie. So, yeah, Iska, Luna, eye contact.
Yeah. So I guess after, like, Luna, does let Axel go and is still kind of glancing over her shoulder at him, turns to Iska. Then she narrows her eyes at Iska and, like, grabs her by the arm and takes her, like, outside.
What the? What?
Did you change fate?
Excuse me?
You heard what I said.
About what, Luna?
Yes or no?
No.
Then I have no idea what has happened.
Is he looking better today?
He looks fine. Perfectly healthy.
I'll stay close to him.
I'll
watch.
I do not enjoy not knowing what's going on.
You and me both. But it doesn't help if we freak him out. Freak everyone out right now. There's enough going on with Kel. I'll keep watch.
We should hit the road as soon as possible. If Axel is
Agreed.
indeed better, Kel still is not.
Exactly. Let's get some food, get packed up, get a move on.
All right. Actually, real quick, she's just gonna like put her head around like your head, get in your head size real quick, and then she's gonna go in.
Okay. Then Iska will go in after.
She owes you a veiled hat.
Yes!
Yeah. So we're going to jump over to Iskrin for a second. First thing you notice this morning, as Luck, did you say you were going to begin breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Luck's beginning breakfast, and of course it always smells wonderful, and whenever there's good smelling things like bacon, an Iskrin tends to lurk about. Iskrin, the first thing you notice other than the smell of Luck bacon that is seasoned perfectly and with all of his exotic spices, the magic, similar to what you had seen on Cilia, solidifying, has become permanent on both Cilia and on Luck.
The Chaos Wave?
The spell from
Aging.
the ghost, the aging.
Oh, okay. So I just have a little good old look-see at
Celia
Luck.
looks good for a 56-year-old.
She does. She really does. Not a day over 15, I'll tell you.
It wasn't double your age. It was
20.
50% more to your age, which I think, because what were you, 28? It was 14 years. Not a huge, big deal. We can figure it out later. But yeah, I was going to say, you're an elf. Unless it's centuries, we're fine.
Yeah.
I'm a baby elf.
Aw. Ishkin's going to look at Luck and just say, "You're probably going to enjoy your new form." Yeah, it's got that young, it's got that fresh strand of the life weave going through it. It's good. You had a bit of a few wrapped strands of death around your weave, but you're okay now. You're nice and fresh. Do you feel fresh?
It's good. You know when they keep going on, you know about the term of digging a hole.
I can choke him if you want.
It's fine. It is absolutely fine. Just knock it back a bit. You know, it's been a long few days.
Okay, I'm sorry. It has been. It has.
Yeah, so, because Axel's sort of sitting in there, talking about that now, you're all here. Are you're all feeling all right? I was kind of out of it yesterday, but there was a lot of searches going on. Are all of you all right?
I'm fine. I think, yeah, no, I'm fine. He's a bit younger. You're how are you? Good, excellent. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I look him up and
Tell me what's going on. You three acting all weird.
oh, stop.
You were rotting away yesterday, and now you are not.
How?
You were decaying. Your flesh, your fur, it was in decay, and now it's not.
Oh. Takes a moment to look over himself, and particularly that blackened hand. The hand that was blackened, the spellcasting hand, which is his right. And oh. Yeah. When we were inside the terminal.
You were here for the search.
I caused it accidentally, of course. But yeah, maybe it hit me. It might be that. I don't know what it does.
Can I
There's
ask
a little bit of panic in his eyes. Just that fear of the unknown. Yeah.
Seeing that Celia and Axel, their effects are now permanent, can I do an Arcana check to see how his is looking, if anything?
Sure, roll me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use a nat 20.
His weave looks fine right now.
Cool.
I don't like your qualifiers.
It's like I just see chat roll up right now.
Don't think we didn't notice the right now.
So,
His weave is fine. Everyone, he's not dying. He's
It's
fine,
good.
guys. Yeah,
Well,
you're fine. Yes.
I'm thinking maybe. Well, usually, because the researchers that I've suffered from could be at least stopped with a restoration spell. So if we keep moving, I think I should be alright. I think I'm it was really busy few days, but when we were at the terminal is when it set in, and I didn't really pay attention to it then. But there was a bit of rot or blackness on my paw hand, and then that was gone in the morning, and then you said it happened again, and it was gone in the morning.
Whether
It's
going to be.
worsening every day.
That means I have at least a day we can get away from the device, and you can get your spell cast safe. If we travel today, can we travel today? It's a bit cold.
Then we're moving. Cold doesn't matter.
I mean, certainly it's not as deadly as it was, and you all do have some clothes to bundle up with that would certainly help against the cold. But as anyone knows who's traveled for a long time on a cold winter day, no matter how much you bundle up, eventually it'll probably slow you all down. But so, Luck, you are cooking breakfast, and as soon as you popped out of the ring, grain was just all over you, and it seems to have not left your side. Might be because of bacon, might be just Luck just seems to, for some reason, want more attention this morning.
Luck is now also grain. Good to know.
Look, grain is luck. Luck is grain. We are the Borg. So yeah, Luck is just sort of scratching his head and sort of behind the ear as he's cooking up stuff, throwing some scraps here and there.
Yep, he dutifully does justice whenever you throw him a scrap. He even does, even though you're sitting down, he will run up and run up and hop on his spot up behind your shoulder, and basically kind of parks himself there, almost with his head just sort of laying on your shoulder. While kind of needy puppy right now. But it's been wet and cold, and you are warm. That's for sure. Yeah, you guys sort of get yourselves a quick breakfast, a quick meal, knowing that certainly in weather like this, staying warm is part of that is having proper food in your belly. Is there anything else that you guys want to do before leaving this cave?
Fill the teapot, maybe wrap part of a cloth or a sleeping pad around it and put the boiling stone in it, just so there's constantly like a little hot water bag that we can kind of trade back and forth to keep warm.
No, absolutely. The heat boiling stone is perfect for that. It'll keep that water basically like a like a hot water bottle that never gets cold, that y'all can pass around or keep tea going pretty much as you travel the whole day, however you want. Kel, tell us about your morning a little bit. Normally you would be out, doing your, it's not scavenging, your foraging, doing your foraging, but did you even attempt to go out this morning? Did you basically just stay still until everyone says it's time to go?
At some point when it sounds like leaving is imminent, he's going to as quietly and with as little motion as possible, just kind of come out of it. And walk over and make some moral thought tea.
Okay.
And that's all he's going to have for his meal for the day.
Okay. Yeah, you.
This is that's what it's for, in a large part, the Ron tea.
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely, it's one of the great aspects of Ron, is that it's how the Silsu survive up on the fjords through harsh winters on basically non-fertile ground, is that it basically slows the metabolism down and makes it so your calorie intake is not as much. You're able to get by on much less food, much less stores of bodily stores of fat or whatever.
This is exactly the weather that this
Absolutely.
is for.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything. He's going to avoid catching people's eye.
So you guys sort of get yourselves packed up. Oh, go ahead, Axel.
What are we doing about feeding the mounts?
Yeah, that's a good question. You've got a couple meat eaters amongst you. You've got some that can certainly forage once they get out, but you'll need to let them sort of have a little bit of free reign to take some time. Certainly you've only had them at this point, and they haven't really been that active for the last 12 hours really. You all got them yesterday morning, well, 24 hours. You got them yesterday morning, but yeah, you're going to need to deal with them somewhat of how to keep them fed and watered, as they couldn't stay out last night and just graze normally for the ones.
Ooh, maybe Iska could go hunting with Charlotte.
Iska is a nectar drinker.
Oh, yeah, flower.
Ooh.
Yeah, she drinks magic, actually.
Magic. I'm going to argue I have a goat. They eat anything.
That's true. There is not a problem at all with the giant ram goat that is. I mean, if you actually have to be careful, or he's going to eat your scrolls.
Both of those eat lettuce.
I'm going to share my bacon with Kent.
Kent is a big fan of bacon, but he seems to like glitter magic excrement even more. So
That's okay. I'm gonna allow him to lick me as then I like pull out from my back, like that's being looped over my belt pouch for like X number of days. That Black Dragon Syndicate dude, the massive shoulder pauldron that I took from him,
yeah.
who had the shoulder charge thing. I'm gonna put that on Kent.
Okay.
Just try to wrap it around.
It's
Maybe
interesting.
whatever
You sort of hold it up, and you're like, "There's no way this is possibly ever going to fit." But after about 15 minutes of trying, it suddenly seems to figure out a way to fit it on there. As the straps seem to lengthen a little bit, it seems to sort of almost certain parts of it give. It's a magical piece of armor, so it is able to fit on him. I will tell you, as we said before, your mounts are statless because I'm not gonna have combat with 7 players and 7 mounts. So at this point, it's on him. It looks cool. You get cool points.
I'm just like,
and on maybe potentially non-combat things, if you need him to muscle something down, I might give you a little bonus.
aww. And then I pat him and then said, "It's okay. You can have some more magic later. We can even go hunting." Good cat.
You guys sort of head out, so Kel, are you going to mount up behind Luck on the goat, or are you going to change into your llama form?
Kel is not going to attempt to change into anything after yesterday.
Okay. So, you mount up. Actually, 1 second, I gotta check something. Okay. As you came out of your reverie, now very conscious of the ring, you felt it skip and go silent again for a short time before starting back up.
I note it, but I don't know what to do about it, so I just...
Yep, just FYI. Kel behind Luck. For the rain, Grain first takes his spot up between... do you have a name for your goat yet?
Mighty.
Mighty. Between Mighty's horns. Then realizes that means that he's sort of like on storm patrol and catching all of the rain in his face, and pretty quickly gets himself back, so he's sort of like behind your neck and a little bit underneath of your hat. Most all of you, I believe, have cloaks that have hoods that you're able to put up and cover up your packs, but it's going to be a pretty miserable day of travel. So what is the plan? You guys are much further west to find the cave than you were yesterday, where it seemed to be the land was sloping downwards to the south. But over this direction, you do see that the land is sloping, but it seems to be sloping very, very much to the... I'm sorry, you are far further east than you were. I know. The ground is sloping away to the east, which would take you towards... I know, I got to bring the map up in front of me before I try to do all this in my head. The ground is sloping to the east, not to the south. To try to go south from here, it doesn't seem like it's going to be easy going. You could try. Again, you don't know where the ravine that you're looking for is that starts Smuggler's Gambit Trail, but you are certainly far more east than south of East, the city, right now. You're east of East, not south of East.
Makes sense.
I thought it was such a clever idea to name the town East. Never again. Note to self, note to all DMs, don't name your towns after directions.
Hey,
Just
luckily
like
it's
Sojourn's
destroyed.
Landing. Oh wait.
Well, because we came east from west to east, and then we searched
This
northeast,
again?
and then
Yes, we searched we were north of east after coming east to get to east from west.
Y'all done yet?
Yeah, we're done now. So anyway,
well, I'm going to, I guess, despite what's going on, we're still needing to get through this, and I have, I'm experienced with, tracking and all, and so similar to what we did yesterday, I'm going to, with permission, use the mask again to get the aerial view and a larger scope of the land.
the aerial view, the clouds are very low, and since it's 200 feet up, I mean, this is, you all are sort of having that, anyone who's been to San Francisco, I mean, it's not necessarily fog, but it is when the rain comes in really low. You are just getting little glances through the glasses at this point. It's probably might hinder you more than help you. But you can give it a try if you'd like. You would basically.
I will give it a try at least.
Yeah, it'll be a disadvantage on perceptions through the glasses, but your survival, of course, is still a normal roll.
Okay, so can I, make a roll now that we're in this place and it's light out at least, even with the cover.
Yeah, right outside the cave, just to get your bearings. Yeah, do me a perception at disadvantage, and then you can do a survival for when you determine what direction you want to go.
And I'm going to use my one advantage that I was given so I can have a straight roll.
Okay. On a 13, you do are able to peek through the clouds, but mainly what you are just seeing is green. There's a couple different channels that you are seeing around you where basically the storm water is running off, sort of these makeshift rivers just as the water drains off the highlands, but you're not really able to see a ravine per se. As I described, the land does seem to fall off to the east. Directly south of you, it does seem to stay pretty much at this same elevation. And then you would be going sort of higher in elevation if you went back to the west. But you do know that about 45 minutes to the west, the terrain does start to slope down to the south because that's where you were yesterday before you found refuge here.
Except that that's more out in the open, right?
Pretty much all of this is out in the open. There's very sparse trees here. Mainly it's sort of where these outcroppings are. It is some conifers that you will find in groups of half a dozen to a dozen at most, and then be sort of wide swaths of just sort of green and rocks and rock outcropping. Of course, the Midnight Weald is all the way back to the west, which is the Midnight Weald giant forest. But out here, it is sparse coverage at best.
Then I'm going to, because it's been raining and there's water running off, I'm going to follow the direction of the runoff. Where it's, I'm sure it's kind of, there's bits going all over the place, but wherever it seems to be, running off the strongest.
Okay. So you head, that's going to take you west. That is going to, I'm sorry, no, this is going to take you east from here. East is uphill. I'm sorry, east is down, west is up. Back towards east is east is a higher elevation than where you are right now. The city of East. Which is west from you. God.
Mistakes were made.
I'm so confused.
Do you want to head back where you were yesterday, or do you want to keep heading to the east?
East or southeast?
I don't even know where we are anymore.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to pull out the map?
Everyone look
Yeah.
at the map. Everyone look at the map.
Look at the map.
Choices. That's all I'm saying.
Stand by.
Thank you.
Long map. There we go.
There you go. All
Right.
players should be on the map now. Go ahead and
Yay.
zoom yourself into where east is.
Okay, can you ping where we are?
Yep. So, and this is, again, scale is way off here. I mean, unless
Right.
literally you get way in there. But basically, so you went, for all intents and purposes, you went straight south out of the town of East.
Right.
You were looking for refuge in the Midnight Weald to the west, but were not able to find anything other than just some tree cover. So
Right.
you headed to the east and found the cave. If you continue to head east, you are going to bump into the road that leads down to Providence.
Right. So we don't want to do that because if something's for smugglers, it's not going to be out in the open and, by a prominent road like that.
Correct.
So I think we should head back more towards the Midnight Weald to the west, southwest.
Yeah. So yeah, if you head back, if you head back to the west, you will get yourself back to the path that you were on before, which is sloping downward to the south.
Right. That's where we want to go.
Okay.
Yay, directions.
Dear God.
Yeah, no, I understand. I apologize for my short-sightedness back when I was writing this when I was laying out this map over a year ago.
We're here now. We're good.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with having named the towns that. It's just in the context of.
I disagree.
As well. I really do. I'm going to be honest. The confusion is.
But in the context of the world, it makes sense for them to have done that.
Yes. Doesn't make it any less confusing.
No, I mean.
Okay, so heading back to where you were.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead and do me a survival to head back. Basically, retrace your steps back to where you were yesterday before the storm started rolling in.
Because he was a little going through some things yesterday. Can I help him and give him advantage on the roll? As I apparently found the cave.
That's true. You did find the cave, and you've already gone this path. You've backtracked this path once before, so I will say you have advantage on this roll because Iskrin has actually, of all crazy things, on his nat 20 roll of survival. So yeah, 25. You're able to retrace your steps almost exactly. Do me a perception check. After about 20 minutes, you come across two familiar shapes lying on the ground.
We're headed the right direction.
As you see the polar bear and your brown bear, the corpses, they seem even more... It seems as though they're dissolving rather quickly now. As their now ribs are exposed, the fur is starting to go away. It's interesting. They've certainly been raining, but do not seem to be any carrion creatures that have come and found these. In fact, if anything, it seems as though they're staying away.
Al doesn't say anything. He doesn't look at them specifically, but he begins to breathe more heavily, just... And he does that until we're past and they're out of sight.
Yeah. There's no way that anyone could miss what you all just went past. But you all do continue.
And probably because we're, riding and there's, still wind and stuff, probably Luck is the only one that hears Kel's breathing.
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah. Or even hear the pace of your breathing pick up. You go on, and again, it was about 45 minutes away from where you were on the trail, and you do see the ground sort of sloping down, kind of where you left off yesterday. A little bit of a cliff face, not so much a solid cliff, but broken up, much more of the outcroppings to rock to your west, and now it sort of twists the land, sort of twists and flows down to the south more, and
we'll continue to follow the downward trend.
Yeah. So now,
obviously, being more careful going down because now the rock is slick with rain.
I mean, it is grass covered, but there is a lot of mud. The terrain is very soft, and some of this grass is over top of sheer rock. So sometimes you think you're stepping on a pass of grass, and one of your mounts hoof will slip a little bit. All of them are pretty much creatures of this region, or certainly able to navigate through this type of region, and none of them fall or there are any problems on that. It's a little bit treacherous going. As you continue southward, probably for about the next hour or so, you come to a fairly steep section. You can see there does seem to be a little bit of I wouldn't call it a path. It might just be natural, or it could just be a game trail that does seem to sort of do hairpin turns because of the steepness of it, that y'all can pick your way down. I know you guys are on mounts, but we're going to use y'all's dexterity. Because you're on mounts, are actually going to give you all advantage on dexterity, but this is a little bit more... You know what? Is this really more animal handling?
Charlotte could probably just crawl straight down.
Let's do an animal handling. Your animals are accustomed to this. They might not be accustomed to you on top of them doing this. And so let's get an animal handling check from everyone. In this rain, in these slick conditions, with your new mounts that you've only had for about a day.
Can I do the thing where instead of going down the hairpins, following the path, can I guide Kent jumping down between each? Like going whoop, whoop.
They're further than Kent could jump. I mean, it's not that tight of a hairpin. There might be other situations where that would be the case, but this is still fairly. You could almost do it straight down, but again, in the slick condition to be safe.
Looking solid here so far,
I was
y'all.
gonna say, actually, yeah.
And I, because I am riding with luck.
Yeah,
well,
I would
give
luck advantage as we have in the past. Luck gets advantage because he's got the druid.
He doesn't need the advantage.
Oh, I know, but just in general.
He's been listening to Cal.
You guys navigate pretty expertly. I mean, and I will say the mounts do a lot of it, but you guys are able to hold on and not be worried by all of this. As you get to the bottom of this sort of meandering section, over to your east, you see a taller one of these outcroppings. This one, a true cliff of this white stone, this limestone that you all have seen in the past. It's probably about 100 feet high over to the east of you. The stone is somewhat undercut, and clearly visible on this white stone is probably years, if not decades, of soot buildup. You can also see sort of the telltale rising of thin trails of smoke, as though from some type of settlement, probably what has been spewing out this soot over the years. Chimneys, small campfires. There is a rise between you and this cliff, so you are not able to see what might be at the bottom of it. But as I said, you do see this off to your east. Straight south of you, you can see the land continues to go down a much less steeper pace, and sort of seems to make a turn before continuing into an area. Give me a survival check, Kel, since you're our guide. On a 19, you can see a lot of the water and drainage is flowing this way. And certainly if you're looking for a ravine, that's probably where all the water would be heading. So that's to the south, to the southwest. This cliff is over to the east. And it's right at 3:30. So why don't we go ahead and take our quick break, because I kind of need to. And I'm going to let Alicia tell you all about our channel and our charity for this month, and we will be back in just a few minutes, folks. Yes.
I literally have to walk back to my house, so if I'm not back, just feel free to go ahead and go.
Okay.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. If this is your first time, welcome to the adventure. If you've been here before, welcome back. This channel is run 100% for charity. This month's charity being Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. The Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation is an organization dedicated to bringing music education to underprivileged and economically disadvantaged music programs and students and schools nationwide. Please go ahead and click the link that's in the description to find out more about it. If you want to donate either time or something through the website itself, please go ahead and click that. If you choose to use our channel to donate, there is a banner you can click below, and we have various donation levels. You can do anything from $1 for a D10 healing dice, 2 for an advantage, a natural 20, a bardic inspiration. You can donate any amount to our spell bank, and at certain levels, we get a new spell. And so at a $100 level, we get a first level, 200, second level, so on and so forth. The this month only level is for $50. You can add a random ring, rod, staff, or wand of rare or lesser quality to the next loot haul for a specific player. But please do not feel pressure to donate if it's not in your means. You can just do things like share us on social media, retweet when we go live on Twitter, share the stream on Facebook. Any of these things help get the word out. Otherwise, we hope you enjoyed the show. And as a special note, we're to this week's Pun of the Week segment. Why should you stay in a musical note chairlift?
Why?
Because if you fall, you'll be flat.
There.
That face. Can somebody clip that face? I want to see. And see that.
Rocks fall.
Oh, come on!
I was going to say that it was themed to our charity. I've got to give you props for that.
I've been trying. I got 2 more weeks. I got to come up with that. Wait, is it 2 or 1 actually?
I think it's just 1 more. Two. That's right.
Yep. Just barely. 31st.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
I give the people what they want. Look at the chat.
The face makes it all worth it.
That's the best Jerry reaction I've gotten so far.
To lighten up your day, chat, if you join the Discord, you can get a homebrew race called the Tree Folk that I recently designed. There will be updates to it, fixing its grammar, its spelling, and maybe balancing it in the future, but it's pretty good, and if you want some living tree people as a race you can play in a D&D game, I recommend it.
It's actually pretty cool. You should
Yeah,
check it out.
no, it really is.
Click the link below.
Oh,
Join that
see-
Discord.
You know, speaking of reading things, good guy, do you have a book recommendation this week?
Oh, yes. Because, well, I personally am going to recommend a childhood book for myself because I'm excited about a certain movie coming out. As everyone knows, if you're in the Discord, I am a big fan of Winnie the Pooh, so I am actually recommending Winnie the Pooh because it's wonderful stories, and even if I think it's perfect for all ages, in my opinion. There's some really good lessons you can learn from Winnie the Pooh, and just nice. They're just nice little things to read before you go to bed, or before. They're not long either. One chapter is like 4 or so pages, and they have lovely illustrations. And Christopher Robin is a wonderful child, and they're just happy little times, which I fully recommend people should read. And I recommend if you have kids and children, read it to them, because honest truth, they're characters that stay with you for the rest of your life once you know about them. They have for me, and so get Winnie the Pooh and get reading that, because it's close to my heart, and there's a legitimate recommendation. Deep from the cold abyss of the king of the world. To be king. I've got some overflow.
That's adorable.
I'll overthrow you one day. You'll see.
Oh, honey, no.
So, it's like everyone's grabbing their pets. We've got dragons in the stream. Dragons, I see dragons. Dragons in the stream. Dragons are not to be.
Somebody forgot to give them their
I was
paycheck.
gonna say both of them. Both dragons are like, no,
Nope.
we're not. Did you hear that pun? We're out of here.
They
See,
weren't
now-
here for it.
See, now I've got Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers in my head.
All he wants to do is just
Dragons in the stream, that is what we are.
Oh no.
There we go.
Dragons in the streams. Oh.
Yes! Thank you, Wandering.
I love you, Wandering.
Okay. So, you guys are, as I say, you've reached the bottom of this sort of. Now I'm hearing birds in the streams. But anyway, you reach this sort of hairpin area of your journey, sort of south and down in elevation. The rain is still sort of drizzling, but it's certainly getting lesser and lesser at this point. As I said, you can see that a lot of the runoff is traveling at this point, sort of running to the south and east, sort of down around a bend that is somewhat obscuring exactly what happens, probably, I'd say 1,000 yards to a quarter mile off down to the southeast. But as Kel, in his woodland experience, could tell you, there's a ravine. Ravines are made by water use, most likely. That's probably where you're headed. And as I said, there is this sort of cliff face and settlement that is off to the east of you. What do you guys want to do? Actually, it's probably around, like I said, you'd been traveling for a couple hours. It is probably around 1 o'clock or so. Can I have everyone do a perception check? Boo. Two things. Luna, you've been sort of keeping an eye on Axel. Axel, tell us what you're noticing.
sort of just like before. He just seems extra cold. He's got blankets on. He's got both his blanket and his cloak wrapped around him, but he's shivering. And again, there's just the sort of dryness in his fur. It's just even as you sort of glance at it, it just doesn't reflect in the sun the same way, or in the low light as it used to, like a couple of hours earlier. And it's very difficult to get it. What did you roll?
I rolled a 17.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's difficult to get a glance because you're looking every now and then, because he's got his hands bundled up. Every now and one shifts out, and it's starting to black.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, she will bring Turnip closer to Axel. Axel, are you feeling worse again?
Yeah. It's a bit... Sort of looks. He now pays attention to the fact that when else is a bit. Yeah, I'm not feeling too great. I mean, cold. Yeah, I'm cold. A bit cold.
Do you think you'll be able to go until we make camp again? Be honest.
As long as we, yeah. I'm pretty sure I can. It does take a moment to sort of assess himself, but yeah. I think I can.
And I know I'm not, I can't do like a full inspection right now, but can I just do like a cursory medicine check, even if it's like at a disadvantage or something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now.
Yeah, I'll probably say it's a disadvantage because he's bundled up pretty tight.
Yep.
Yeah, you can ask. Yeah.
Still 19.
He's just bundled up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's drifting closer and closer to what you saw last night. Still not to the level that it was last night, but it is definitely, you see it's happening.
Celia kind of runs the chocobo to the front of the group and kind of just like holds her arms out and basically signaling everybody to stop.
Everybody does so, I assume.
Yeah.
She points over to the east and says, "There's something over there."
After she points it out, you do notice it takes you a minute because between the rain and some of the mist in the lower lying areas, you see a creature, roughly humanoid, sort of crouching over something and moving along it. It is bone white from this distance. It has sort of sharp, jagged spines and spikes sort of protruding all over it. We'll go with what we saw. So with a perception check, Luna, as this is pointed out, and Kel, as well as Axel. Let's see if there was anything else in there. Was there another high one? No.
I think Celia had 18, but
Celia had the 18. She's the one who spotted it. You can sort of make out that sort of down the center of its back, it sort of almost looks like a ridge of shark teeth that sort of scrape against each other as it continues to worry over whatever it is. It doesn't seem to have noticed you. It's about probably 200, almost 300 feet off. Again, if it wouldn't have been for Celia's sort of rogue, roving eye, you might have missed it.
And to be clear, so is it in the path we have to go to, or off to the side?
It's to the
off to the
east.
side.
It's
Okay.
to the east, back sort of all toward the direction of the village, if anything.
And it just seems like it's hovering over this thing on the ground, not like.
I mean, it's
Tapping.
definitely doing something. I mean, it seems to be worrying over it.
Like it's feeding.
You don't know, not from this distance.
It is possible that if it's near someone, they may require our help. Or it could be another creature and not our concern. What do you all wish to do?
This is a question for Jay. Has magic returned? Come and get off the keyboard.
Nope. You guys are at this point. You are, you're still within, a day and a half of the vice. Actually, less than that. You only traveled half a day yesterday. You're still within a day of the vice. It is not returned in a reliable way at all.
Kel will say whether it needs help or not. We need help. We've got less and less time as each day passes. It hasn't seen us. We need to keep going.
Did I get my mouse back from Kel? How far away is it? Like
Kel could hand it to you. I mean, Kel could hand you the mask. Again, the reality is, I mean, you can put it on 200 feet up or 200 feet away. It's still going to look about the same.
Fair.
Then we move forward.
Celia's gonna hop off the chocobo. Is there forest around it?
There's not, but there's. I mean, the land is fairly, it rolling, and there are lots of outcroppings. I mean, your eye, you could definitely get a closer. Depending on your roll, you could there are things to stealth behind. You wouldn't be at a disadvantage to try to stealth closer. I'll let you put it that way.
Okay. Celia just says, I'm going to get a closer look. You all stay here. I'll be fine. And she's
Please,
going to...
please be careful. We don't need something else to go wrong. Bardic inspiration your way.
Yay!
So go ahead and do me a stealth check. I mean, you can hold your bardic for later if you'd like. How long does a bardic last? 10 minutes?
I think it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She has advantage on stealth. So hopefully that helps her.
Oh, that's right. Your new boots. Yeah. So 24. Yeah, you're able. You guys basically see Celia, and within moments, she is blended in and disappeared into these hills as she heads over. I saw that bird as she heads over closer to this. Go ahead and do me a perception check, Celia, as you get closer. On a 22, as you get closer, you can see blood dripping off what appear to be more sort of shark tooth-like protrusions that run down its forearm, almost like sort of a jagged saw blade. You're probably at this point about maybe 90 feet, maybe even a little closer to it. Again, if you were trying to stealth up to it, you would sort of have to take a zigzag path. As the crow flies, it would be shorter. You can hear, it seems to be sort of like a muttering coming from it.
And I'm guessing from where I am, I cannot, unhear it.
I'll let you use that stealth roll that you have if you want to get a little bit closer.
Yes.
So you go about 30 feet closer. You're probably within about 30 to 45 feet of it. Good. You hear it's sort of muttering, "Stupid, stupid, stubborn. Why do you have to be have to be such trouble? Look what you made me do. All this blood. Look what you did. Look what you did."
Am I able to kind of tell what this?
It's hunched over. It is definitely humanoid in form. It is, you see these sort of bony protrusions and spikes all over it. Like I said, it's almost like shark teeth. You know how if you look like into a great white shark's mouth, how it's the rows and rows. It's kind of like that going on, but it is across its back, down its arms, as though there seem to be like dominant teeth and then like all the replacements. And it's sort of, like I said, it's almost bone white in color.
All right. Celia's going to be risky, and she's going to step out and show herself and say, "Are you okay?"
You immediately see it raise its head. "I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. I'm 1,000 teeth. I'm not a monster. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me."
She just holds out her hands and says, "Are you okay?"
You do see blood coming down its arms. It turns around and you see something that looks definitely like a tabaxi, except in place of its fur are teeth. I'm getting wood. We had to we're fixing the village. He points to his arm, and you can see that what he was working on was a log, and that he was been using his arms to try to saw it and collect wood. "Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. Don't kill me."
"You're fine. You can put your hands down. You're fine. I promise. Do you need help?"
I'm finishing this, getting the log. I just need to take it back to the village. He just seems all completely flustered.
I want to do an insight check to see if he's being, like, deceptive at all.
Okay, yeah, do an insight check.
And because this is very important, this is life or death for Celia, I'm going to use a natural 20.
Yeah, he's terrified. He is, you can see at the ground, basically he was cutting a log, it seems to have split. Because of using his arms, you can see where one of the teeth does seem to be dislodging. You can see that where another one would come into its place, but that's where he's bleeding from. He seems genuinely terrified, as though he's been mistaken for a monster many times before.
All right. Celia's going to kind of walk around to see, like, what it is he was, like, pacing over.
It is this log. He was cutting down a tree. You can see collecting branches and bush, and he's just like, we had a few buildings. The roofs came off. We're trying to put them back up from the storm. We need to try to get people dry. He puts his hands back up almost just as he sees you sort of looking closer at him. He's, like I said, he seems, from your insight check, he knows that his appearance people have mistaken him before.
She says, "I may have somebody who can help you. Will you come with me, please? I promise we're not going to hurt you."
He looks at you. He's. I've got other people waiting for me. They know I'm gone. He seems to be. He's now, with your insight, he's lying to you because he is worried that you are trying to take him somewhere to kill him. They know I'm gone. They come looking for me, and you know he's totally lying.
Celia just kind of puts her hands out and says, "You're gonna be okay. I have a friend that might be able to help you. That is all. We have a tabaxi with us as well."
He sort of goes, you do? What's his name?
Yeah.
He immediately goes into...
His name is Axel.
Axel? Just Axel?
That's how I know him.
Huh. That's interesting. I've never known someone who's just Axel. He kind of looks over. You can see probably the party from here because they were able to see him. I mean, do you point out where the rest of the party is?
Yes.
He sort of looks over. Oh, there's a lot of you. What are you riding? Most people are usually on mules when they come this way. Are you going down Smuggler's Gambit?
We we just came from east. We were given these by a person that sells now.
Oh, that's cool. Most people just have horses. Mules. Sometimes mules.
But we're special.
Oh. We're special, sort of, too, but not the way you're special. I'm special like this. Yeah. All of us at the village are.
We've heard. So he just smiles and says, I may have somebody that should be able to help you chop down some trees.
That would be nice.
Or chop some wood.
Okay. You're not going to kill me? I'm not a monster. I'm really not a monster.
We're not going to kill you, I promise.
Okay.
And
I'm
Julia?
1,000. I'm 1,000 teeth. I would shake your hand, but I can't. I mean, literally, it's like even the palms of his hand. I mean, it's as though all of his hair was turned to fangs and teeth.
Yep. And Celia will lead him over to the group, and while she's walking, she'll say, "I'm Celia. You can meet everybody else when we get there."
Yeah. He's about probably just over 5 feet tall. He's on the shorter side. He sort of walks a little bit warily. I won't say, it's almost like a cat-like prowl. I mean, he's ready to bolt if he needs to, but he's feeling better about all of this. Yeah, so the rest of the party, you see Celia, probably first you see her stand up and you're like, what is she doing? And then you see this all go down, hands up, her sort of walk around and now leading this creature back towards you. Now, since he's approaching you and you're not seeing him from behind, you do start to make out tabaxi features, but it is this weird, incongruous juxtaposition with these just wicked, sharp-looking fangs and teeth of pretty much every shape. going down to tiny little ones around, as eyebrows and for facial hair, mane. It goes into the bigger sort of almost like great white size shark teeth, down, the ridges of the bottoms of his arm thing. And again, sort of like with these replacements, wrapping all the way around into the big where the main teeth are down his spine, on the undersides of his arms, and sort of on the top sides of his legs.
The first thing Celia will do is kind of signal everybody that he's fine. She checks him out. Fine.
I'm not a monster. As he walks up, he puts his hands up again. I'm not. I'm 1,000 teeth.
Celia goes, this is 1,000 teeth.
Did he count them?
We tried, but they come out and they get in, and when we count them, everyone kind of loses track after a while. You'd have to mark all of them, and then that got really weird because then I had marks all over my teeth, and it was not nice. So we say 1,000. Also, 1,000's kind of a nicer, shorter term than seeing like 1,265 or something weird like that.
He's definitely a tabaxi.
Yeah, I was. I guess. Am I still? We all sort of are, but that's just because our leader's kind of a tabaxi, and so we all just are kind of this tribe.
So you live in that village?
Well, yeah, we all do.
I'm hidden by Axel, by the way.
Oh, hidden by Axel, not just Axel.
Yeah.
She said you were just Axel, but you're really hidden by Axel. So that would be more interesting if you were just Axel, because I've never met anybody who was just called Axel before. But hidden by Axel, that makes a lot more sense.
I love this character.
Other Tabaxi live in that village?
Well, our leader's a tabaxi. Well, sort of. He's kind of a tabaxi. He's part tabaxi. But since he's the leader, he kind of made us the whole tribe. And since we all are changed, we all took tabaxi names because it kind of made sense. Because our old names, well, we're all from the Surges.
Yeah. Makes sense, yeah.
I used to be just a tabaxi, but now I'm 1,000 teeth.
That wasn't your name, just Tabaxi, right?
No.
Just tabaxi.
No. But he sort of looks down and he goes, I was play with yarn, but now I'm 100,000 teeth.
Yeah, sounds fun. So Axel looks to say, see why here?
Our village was damaged by the storm. We had one of our buildings, the roof came off, and we had to come get some wood, and we need some thatch. And there's not many of us who can actually work. I'm kind of useful with my teeth, but other people aren't so much.
So you need wood for the roof.
Well, yeah. I mean, we do.
Fine. Luna gets off, starts walking.
Thank you. And he starts, I can take you. He likes trying to catch up to Luna.
Gone. Whatever. We're fixing the problem and we're moving on.
1,000 teeth? Your village, you people live around here?
Yeah, that right over there. He sort of points to where you saw the smoke coming up.
Do you know where we can find a ravine or Smuggler's Gambit?
Smuggler's Gambit, yeah, it's right that way, the way you were kind of pointed. Down, just keep following this, go around the corner, you'll see the ravine. That's what we set up here, because sometimes they'll stop and trade with us, whereas other people won't. Do me a history check, Axel. Yeah, so people will trade with them. It happens.
Where's reliable talent when you need it?
On the rogue.
The rogue.
The rogue doesn't even have it yet. What do you mean?
Hold your horses.
But yeah, I mean,
You don't have those.
He said, it's because of the surges. So
Yeah.
Talking about recent
he's still trying to catch up with Luna at this point. Because I need to let them know you're coming because
She's
people hunt us sometimes, and it's not She keeps running up to try to keep up with her. But we're not monsters. None of us are monsters. You're looking very determined.
I will get you.
You seem to get a little bit more worried. You're looking very determined, and you're kind of scaring me a little.
I am getting you wood for the roof.
Okay. Thank you.
I assure you, this is her nice face.
Really? That's the nice one?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, if this is nice face. But yeah, so we're just trying to get, we need a few big poles so that we can, like, for the main rafters of the roof, and then we just need some thatch and stuff. I've been just harvesting some of these trees down here. There's a couple more that we can get to. I got the furthest one first so that I didn't have to drag the stuff there and back. He's sort of...
Hey.
She's just gonna look at the tree. She basically wants to find a tree where she gets punch it down.
That's pretty... there's, again, they're few and far between, but they are easy to spot. So, within...
Okay.
30 or 40 yards, you can see one that, you could, is small enough diameter trunk that you could put your fist through it.
Sure. Doing that.
So, yeah.
You just give me a great idea.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll against a tree.
Which I will somehow fail. Nope.
No, a 19 definitely hits. Roll me some damage.
Sure thing.
Yeah,
not great.
5 bludgeoning damage. I mean, you pretty much go all the way through it, but it doesn't quite go over. I mean, with basically you could all but do a knock it with your elbow or,
Just punch. Moving on.
Wow. I'm really glad I'm meeting her when she's nice.
After seeing Luna do that, Ishvin just looks at the shoulder pauldron on Kent. And goes,
You have a sword!
I'm not bludgeoning Lyle.
Good idea.
He's a magical sword! He'll be fine!
Oh, I can use my new toy.
As they're doing this, Celia's gonna reach into her pack and grab the sharpener she uses to sharpen her daggers
Uh-huh.
and hand it to Thousand
Thousand
Teeth and
Teeth.
say, "You can use this to sharpen your teeth."
I might ruin the grip. That's why they don't let me use tools, because I always mess up the grip. I don't want to. You have such a nice thing there, but I also don't know how to use one. But he kind of puts his arm out a little bit, like. But you could if that's. I don't want to. I don't want to impose.
Celia's like, "I can just get a new one. You can have this one."
Really? And he hands it, because he can't really take it from him, so he just sort of puts both of his hands out in front of him, kind of like, I don't want to cut you. I usually have to keep my hands behind my back.
And she just like drops into his hand.
And he gets one. He sort of figures it out. He goes, so how do I do this?
Celia would show him.
Yeah.
That should help you get trees down better.
Yeah, well, because what I'm really good at, and so after the tree falls over with Luna, he's like, see, I can strip him off, and so he takes his newly sharpened ones, like, takes all the little limbs off, and it's like, ooh, that usually takes like 2 or 3. And he's just sort of going down and using his forearms to get, this conifer, so it's nice bushy tree. What's everyone else sort of doing? I heard that definitely Iska and Luna and Celia are there. Iskrin, it sounds like you're there. Luck, Kel, Axel, did you come along, or did you stay back at sort of the crossroads?
I'm still sitting, as far as I know, I'm still sitting behind Luck on the goat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, what's Luck up to with this new friend?
Luke's sort of just watching this all go down. He's trying to puzzle this in his head, but he's sort of staying pointed roughly in this area so we don't lose.
Yeah, against your back you hear thump, 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 as it's Crane's tail wagging wildly as he has been listening and to 1,000 Teeth,
which means his tail is probably whacking me in the face.
Could be
Because if he's
actually,
on
you're
Luck's shoulder and
well,
I'm
you're a little
behind
bit-
the Luck,
but you're shorter than Luck. You got to remember, Luck is about 6'4", you're 5'7". It's iffy. If you wanted to hit you in the face, it can hit you in the
well,
face.
I mean, probably on the top of my head then, at the very least.
Yeah. So yeah.
Axel would have actually just sort of rown up with the group with them.
So you're Tabaxi. Are you with? Do you have a tribe as well? Or is this your tribe? Or this your tribe too? See, not everyone in my tribe is Tabaxi either. They're all different people from all different places. They all look different too.
Yeah, this is my tribe. So your people all came from east, or you were around there when such as happened, and then you got kicked out. They don't like you there.
Well, no, we're from different places. When we were traveling through the Vice, we came out different. Have you? Did you travel through the Vice?
Yeah. And I mean, well, I've come out different, sort of, and he sort of shows off his hand.
Oh.
Yeah, not nice. But...
Oh, so you know, yeah.
Yeah, I was being shorter as well. I was like, this tall.
Yeah, we got all sorts of different folks who have different things. You know, a lot of times people just keep on living as they live, but when you are as different as some of us are, it's kind of tough. Maybe you've heard, if you came from the Vice and you went through West, so you saw the Karn Keepers. It's kind of the same idea.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's very similar. So the people who survive are on this side, and the people who die sort of remember that side. It's kind of a neat little balance. Yeah. So do you want the tree and sort of he hops off? We can tie it to. We can have the mounts pull it, and it might be easier for you.
Ooh, that would be great. Yeah. Gosh, you guys are smart.
That's kind of what I'm good for.
Hey, Thousand Teeth, if we help you, could you show us to Smuggler's Gambit as quick as possible afterwards?
Sure. Absolutely.
And in your tribe, we have some people not feeling great. Are there any healers in your tribe?
Not really healers. Healing doesn't work so well around here. We're really close, and you know we've kind of all had bad luck when it comes to casting and stuff. So we don't usually do that. But one mate of Mini, our tribe leader, he's very smart. He might be able to help you.
And he's
He was Tabaxi. Well, is Tabaxi.
One made of Mini. I could get it from the name.
Well, yeah, we try to pick names that kind of describe. Even if you're not Tabaxi, people do. The humans do, the dwarves do, the elves do, the surge survivors, surge folk. So
sounds like a really nice family, nice tribe you got there. And so what I was doing is Axel's probably got now something to tie and basically so they can drag the log behind.
Yeah,
probably
so
his mount. It's fine.
Yeah, and he's like, that's great. I hate to ask, can we just get one more? He just points to one that's like right there. Iskra, I think you had a plan for a tree.
So I remember what.
Thanks to Geeky Tea Party for the host.
Woo! Thank you. So I remember what the Black Dragonflight member who had this shoulder pauldron on was like. So I try to give Kent some commands by pointing at a tree and go, tree, and then I tap on the armor, this, charge.
Give me an animal handling check. On a 10, Kent looks at the tree, looks at the pauldron, looks at you, licks the pauldron.
I use my Fey presence to try charm him and say, come on, buddy, I know you want to do it.
Okay, do another one with advantage. Another animal handling with advantage.
Oh, he doesn't want to do it.
He looks at you again. He looks at the tree again. He looks at the pauldron again. He looks at the tree. He trots over to the tree, and he licks the tree.
I shrug and say, it's a start at least. And then I hop off and say, I'm sorry, Axel. Axel, wow. I'm sorry, Lyle.
Oh.
What are you doing? What are you about to do? What are you about to do to me?
No, I head over to a tree. Not to Many Teeth.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I go off to the side to a tree, and then just say, "I'm sorry, Lyle," and then
wait. And you go ahead, book the attack.
Yeah.
On a 23, mid-swing, Lyle turns into a battle axe and just goes right through it. And then back into the sword. You know, you could ask.
That's true, you can't read
As long as you're not making me into a pretty little teapot, we can work together here.
Oh yeah, good point. It's been a while. It's just been a while. I mean, I tried to turn you into a dagger once. You just weren't having any of it. So
Seriously, daggers?
I just pulled.
I know it doesn't matter to you, but size matters to me.
You know, fair call. Great sword. We can make you larger if you want.
No, this is just fine.
I know. I like it.
Tree comes down. You guys can gather it together, and before this gets too silly, we can head to.
I try my best to tie the tree up to the back, like the trees to the back of Kent, because he looks strong and able.
So, Iska, do you let Luck and Kel know that you you potentially have a guide they could join you, or you?
I approach Luck and Cal astride Mighty the goat, and I explain the situation to them. Just, our new friend here, apparently there's a tribe nearby. If we help him, he's agreed to take us directly to Smuggler's Gambit. I know this will take some time, but if it's going to take us time to track it down anyway, we can help someone, and they can get us there the safest and quickest way possible. Maybe even give us some information about Smuggler's Gambit. Is this okay?
Thump, 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 thump. You hear it? Grain is.
Just getting to
Kel.
cracking two boulders with one swing. I like it.
Cal?
We can just do this as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. We'll waste not a second more than we need to, I promise you.
Then let's go.
Yes, and she'll rejoin the others.
Yep. So you guys get back together. You've got the everything trussed up. Thousand Teeth has to walk just because. You do notice he basically has just sort of very sort of small like pair of like leather shorts, really heavy leather shorts that someone has made for him for modesty's sake, but obviously anything that he would normally wear that wasn't just like rawhide leather would just get shredded by his his teeth. As y'all are going, he's going. So it's what we call our village is Black Cliff Village, and yeah, like I said, we all just sort of come here if you have to after a surge because you're kind of messed up. But we all take new names. Like I said, our leader, one mate of many, he kind of like made us all our own tribe. So we're the Black Cliff tribe, and we all try to look out for each other. Some of us can do more things than other people can do, but we're all kind of in the same situation. All thing we have to watch out for is sometimes the people who go down Smuggler's Gambit aren't too nice, and so we have to hide, or they come and raid the village. But other ones they trade with us and they help us out, and says we can't always get our own supplies when we're out here on our own. But yeah, and he just sort of is giving you the Tabaxi run along. You sort of enter into the village, and you see that. This storm that has come through. You see some where water is sort of washed out through the village. Not a big deal. It looks like it's made to sort of take some level of rain, but you do see one larger building that looks like its roof was probably blown off in the storm. There's other ones that people are working on to try to repair. And when I say people, you see folks in all sorts of different levels of vice surge effects. You see some who have like a part of their body looks like it's been completely replaced with a different type of creature. You see others that have horrible facial deformities. you see some that have more arms or legs or other appendages than they normally would have. You see one that has looks like they have like an eye, a large eye in the back of their head, almost like a blood red eye that sort of blinks at you as you walk by. There are others, as I said, that have strange boils that sometimes look like they move underneath of the skin. And for the most part, what you do notice is this is not easy work for any of them. Very few of them are left with two functioning legs or arms. They sometimes, some have claws, and they seem to make. You can see where, just like A Thousand Teeth has done, made the best of their situation to try to use whatever deformity has come upon them. It's difficult work. There are, as I said, there are people. This is people who are just trying to manage and live out their days in somewhat relative peace. A Thousand Teeth. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Thousand Teeth sort of takes you past this broken building to sort of another smaller, sort of makeshift shelter, and it's almost like a lean-to. It seems as though it was once used for maybe small livestock, goats or something, but there seem to be quite a few of these people. Few of them look like they're injured, but not major injuries, and sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's an injury or not. Some of them, you just see some that are really just soaking wet, perhaps got caught in the storm or had their own roof somehow be damaged. As you enter into this sort of small, dim shelter, you do see one figure there who is sort of he's about the only person who has a chair there. He does seem to be much older, but the biggest thing you notice as you all step in is that people all sort of shy away from you, little bit in fear, and also sort of hiding whatever their condition might be that happened from the vice.
Nona's. I think she'd actually stop before they were in the building proper,
Okay,
seeing
that's
people
fine.
who are working up on the roof.
Yep.
Can she figure out what still needs to be done? Like, are they pulling boards apart before they put the wood in? Like, what?
The big building, you can tell it's almost half of its roof was sort of folded over. You could sort of tell almost by the size of lumber that that Thousand Teeth pointed out. That's probably what this was for. Some of the other ones, it looks like sort of general rethatching of that's happening where the winds were just such that, or the hail was large enough that sort of punctured through. Most of these are hovels without wooden roofs. They're mainly with sort of thatch or bundles of these really dense evergreens that you've seen growing in the areas, taking advantage of the natural resources that they have available to them. Because the cliff does sort of lean out and is undercut, this whole village is sort of tucked a little bit underneath the edge of the cliff, which certainly would give it a lot of cover. But in a really heavy storm with heavy winds, of course, there's only so much that the cliff is going to do when it's as high as it is.
Yeah, because I imagine she would probably actually try and help outside as opposed to talk to this person.
Okay, no, that's fine. If you're going by, you can see, as you pass by, you do see one gentleman up on a roof, and again, one of his arms seemed to be like a long octopus tentacle, which you actually, from your trips to the ocean, would be familiar with. And you can see that he is trying to gather up bundles of straw that another younger woman who doesn't seem to have legs, seems to have more with probably just stumps left behind. You know, she's trying her best to gather together some thatch into bundles for him to lift up onto the roof. That, as you pass by, probably seem to be the two that could use someone, a
She'll
whole and
help
healthy
them.
person. Yeah. I assume just kind of wordlessly just go over and start
Yep,
lending
wordless,
hand.
come
Yeah.
over and help.
Yeah, the woman sort of looks up at you, and as you sort of take them and then hand them without fear into this long tentacle, sort of gives you a smile, and the gentleman up on the roof sort of smiles back down at you. You know, at first he's kind of like, "How's this going to go?" And then when he sees that you, no qualms, no fear whatsoever, you know, sort of hand into his tentacle, and he lifts them up and on the roofs, and they keep working. It's gonna, you know, there's, you know, 35, 45 minutes worth of work to do here that you
Yep,
could
nope,
keep you busy.
that's what you do.
Yep. Anyone else do things along the village, or do you head with Thousand Teeth towards the large enclosure?
Other than probably dismount and untie the logs so they're accessible
Yep.
from the mounts. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So, as I said, you see this one individual who's sort of given deference, and he sits in this chair sort of in the corner, and he's sort of waving away at individuals who seem to be fussing over him. Seems to be quite a bit older. As you guys approach, Thousand Teeth just sort of... These people, they came to help out. They're going to Smuggler's Gambit. But they're really nice, and they brought us some wood for your house. And he says that to one of many, and one of many, this creature, obviously sort of tabaxi with sort of black panther-like fur and features, but I don't know what's the name of the species of dog that has all the rolls. You know. I don't know what the name of it's called, but basically with a very loose skin, sort of under his eyes and above his eyes. It's like his skin is too loose sort of around his eyes. It's interesting, though, as you look at him, you see he doesn't have ears like a panther. They are very much like the ears of a high elf. And he has a long beard, and his body proportions seem to be more like those of a dwarf. His arms are scaled and blue with only 4 fingers, similar, Axel would know, to a dragonborn. And as he approaches, you see, looking out at you at first, look very much like elven eyes. You see the 2 of the rolls separate and open up, and you see a set of tabaxi eyes, as these folds almost seem as though within each of them contain eyes from different races. Little disconcerting, but he sort of just gives you a smile, and I thank you. How can we be of help? And as you see sort of, as he blinks, almost between each blink, a different race's eyes. They then switch to Dragonborn, and then to Tiefling, basically between each blink. I am one of many, and your help is much appreciated. The storm was worse than we anticipated. Unfortunately, my abode was damaged. You are headed to Smuggler's Gambit.
Yeah, and we're in quite a hurry. We saw 1,000 Teeth out there and wanted to help, but to be honest, we really don't have that much time. What'd you say?
Did you say something, Celia? Did you have something? Oh, anyway. Yes, we try not to let Thousand Teeths go out by himself. He draws the wrong attention sometimes. He has been attacked before. We usually try to have someone more normal with him. So I thank you first for trusting us. We will not detain you any longer. Everything you've done to this point is certainly help enough. If you're able to lend even an hour to help get the rafters set, that'd be appreciated. And Thousand Teeth goes, I said I'd take them to the Gambit, so I can help out that way still too. And that would be good, right? And he just sort of smiles. Yes, child. That would be very nice.
Is there anything about the Gambit that we need to know? Dangers, what would come across, good places to hide, what to do when bad weather comes in the middle of the ravine, or get through the ravine? Do you know anything about that? Have you been told?
Yes. There are floods. If there's heavy weather, know that the main ravine will flood, and you must get to high ground, or else you'll be washed away in a flash as the water comes pouring down. And this time of year, beware of the toads. You don't want to get tangled up with them. It is their season for breeding. So keep an eye out. They'll be near water. And, as always, in the Sylvan Expanse, the Fae are fickle, as they all have made that their home because magic is so abundant. They're very territorial, but you will have to pass through. It is either through the Sylvan Expanse or through the Midnight Weald.
Is one way better than the other?
Blink again. It all depends on your perspective. Within the Weald, magic becomes slow and thick again. Casting becomes difficult, but it makes things much more straightforward. However, in the Sylvan Expanse, sometimes swords, spears, arrows won't be enough. Each way has its own trials. The Gambit is never easy. If you want it easy, the road through Providence is the way you should choose.
We don't have time for easy.
Few often do who use the Gambit. As I said, watch for flash floods. Perhaps. And he looks over and perhaps we can help a small bit. With more than just information. And he nods over to makes rope with hair. And as he says it,
and what do they do?
Makes rope with hair. Could you bring one of yours? And you see a small creature that has extremely long hair from the top of their head. And seeing your reaction, sort of smugly, she looks at you and walks over to Iskrin, where you have Lausithia on your belt, and takes the tail end of this long group of hair and whoosh, slices it on it. And what she cuts off is now made of the same metal that Lysithia is cut out of. And hands it to Iskrin. And sort of looks, kind of gives you a little, and walks off and comes back with what looks like 50 feet of steel cable. And one of made of many goes, "For the help you've given us, there are many bridges that you will have to traverse. I do not know the state of their repair, but certainly this could help to stabilize them."
Forged eclipse meet the forged cable.
Yeah, it's only probably about a strand about, 8-10 inches long, but it is, you could braid it together and it would be literally made of the magical metal that Lysithea is made of.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit just like,
Oh,
Of
that's
all the-
impressive.
I just say, of all the weapons and out of all of us, all of the spheres. Wow, how's it feel to be copied?
So you see the eyes blink one more time, and a set of strange, glowing, and Axel would probably recognize as dragon eyes, look out. And look directly at Axel. You,
Fingers his earring for a moment there.
and as you put your finger up, your hand now blackening shows.
Hmm.
And he goes, "You're becoming one of us."
Yeah, well, doesn't. Maybe.
What has happened so far?
I've shrunk twice. That was on the other side. That wasn't actually in the vice. Went through the vice and came out this side, and we were in the terminal. You shouldn't be knowing this. And we were in the terminal, and I fumbled a little bit, and the search that happened. I got lucky. There were some people there. It's a big outbreak of surges, and some of the people there weren't so lucky though. I mean, yeah, he notices now it's like pins and needles, but I think the morning it goes away.
Goes away
Hopefully.
in the mornings.
Yes.
It's still in you then.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes. Some kick off something. It's immediate. Others, it's over time. Others reoccur as it was brand new every day, every moonrise, every change of the season sometimes.
So I'd have to expunge the surge magic somehow then, or get it absorbed out of me, or I see. Well, I didn't know that. It's good to know. It won't affect anyone else because we saw that happening when we were
Very
in.
few seem to be contagious that I've seen, and I've seen quite a few. Mine, well, there were 6 of us. We were one of the first groups to ever try to go through the vice. And,
Oh,
well, now we are one.
so you know everything that all of you knew.
Yes.
Must be interesting, including Because you said dragon eyes, correct? Or was it dragonborn eyes?
Dragonborn eyes.
Yeah. I was a bit confused. Yeah. I see.
Yeah, I mean,
Sort of looks over to. This is why you don't cast spells in the Vice, Iskrin. He cast a couple of spells that didn't actually have any. Well, it weren't as bad as some, but we'll be going
I can
to.
shrug things off a bit easier now, which is really nice.
Lucky you. But yeah. So is that. Thank you. Is that all you need to say? Because then maybe we can help out fixing things now and then be on our way. I kind of want to.
yes, I understand
We're in a rush.
your rush. But we thank you. If you have anything to trade, we don't have much, but we could, I'm sure, come up maybe with something.
Would you like some casks of elven wine?
Everything's appreciated. Yes. We haven't seen anything that extravagant for quite some time.
Okay, give me a minute. And Ishrin goes out to Kent, where he's got the two little casks of wine strapped onto his back, and unclasp them, bring him out.
Okay. And he sort of hands you the cable, and just for expediency, we'll say, unless you've got anything else you want to talk to him about, that you guys get to work. You see, go ahead. Luna's out there. Luna is out helping the couple that she was already helping. It is, for Luna, it is this, they never ask your name. They never give their names. It is just this quiet work in the rain, in this sort of slow drizzling rain. You moved off sort of the main path around to the other side, and so you were even, just for a moment, in this quiet, rain-filled green landscape surrounding you. The rest of you guys go out, and there's a few other people attempting to work, but with all of you, certainly with Luck's strength, with that, you're sort of having to improvise. Luck's also with tools. He's able to quickly sort of put together quick sort of nails or fasteners, also lashings, to try to get these two rafters up. Probably in short work, 2 hours between all of you guys working together. I mean, Iska, you can use your whip in order to move things up and down fairly easily. Iskrin, you've got Lyle, which seems to be more than willing to change to more forms that or less weapon-like and more tool-like in this case. Usually it's not just a hammer, it's like a big war hammer, but you can still drive nails with it. And you guys do get this all sort of settled back up. For, again, all your little trimming work, you do see Thousand Teeth is there helping out all along the way. And within an hour, you guys pretty much have it wrapped up. About the same time, Luna, you've wrapped up with this couple out here, and with your new steel cable and Thousand Teeth leading the way, you sort of help one of many sort of get resituated inside his new home. Lots of people, even as you were building, were getting the insides cleaned out for any thatch that had fallen in. And by the time you've left, again, with a party of your size, you've pretty much rebuilt his home. It's still a fairly small hovel, dirt floors, small hearth. And even by the time you leave, there's a little bit of soup not a whole lot in it, but they do offer you some broth if you would like it before you leave. Luck, you're certainly welcome to help out with any spicing or to make it a little nicer meal. You can pop open one of these, either your wine or the wine that they trade. They probably would share with you as well. It's a very open community. It seems as though they probably would have helped in any way they could, even if you had not helped them. But your service seems to have made all the difference, whereas one of them even sort of says, this would have been weeks for us to repair. Truly, thank you. Be careful in the gambit. Remember what I told you. Don't trust all bridges to be safe. Be wary of the fickleness of the Fae. And stay away from the toads.
Is currency of any use to you all?
It is. We can buy supplies.
Luna will hand them 100 silver for the soup.
And they just... You don't have to, but...
I do not take meals for free for the soup.
And just... You can see the woman who was doing the soup. She has basically only sort of thumbs left. It's as though her fingers have... there's actually sort of almost a familiar blackness about where her fingers were, and seems to be left with thumbs. And also, and she just starts to sort of weep a little bit. And you see that out of her tears are sort of this deep, sort of green color. And she just says, thank you. Thank you. And after having a little soup and a little wine, leaving this village with now sort of a dry meeting room where you guys head out with sort of in front of you, chatting the whole time. Go ahead, Kel.
Before we leave, once the work is done, Kel will go to one of many and do a, just not really say anything, but do a shortened version of the tea ceremony between him and one of many, and share the tea with him.
And one of many looks at you, and you see the eyes flip through until they are deep brown, almond-shaped elven eyes that look back at you. This is a kingly gift indeed. And does just the very first portion of the Sail-Su bow. Doesn't do the whole, just the heart.
Kel will do the full bow again to him, and then pull out 2 leaves of what he has and give them to him.
And one of many is speechless and holds them in his hand as though it's the greatest treasure in the world. And
Kel gives kind of a little half smile,
And
then gets up and nods and turns and leaves to join the party and leave.
And as the party goes off into the drizzling rain, being led by 1,000 Teeth, that's where we're going to end our session today, everyone. Thank you. Let's go around the room. We got to sell you back. Woohoo!
Danny is looking for that experience.
Just in time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look
Make that DM cry.
Oh yeah, no, I just when fun little things happen, it's always good. So let's go around, sign off, let everyone know where we are, where you can find you, and thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you all for the great donations that we got today, and let's start with Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. I was playing Hidden by Axel, the Tabaxi Wizard, who is not a lich. Just letting you know that. And you can catch me pretty much anywhere on the internet as Rainer Templar Warden, or you can catch me on Twitter at Rainer Templar. I'm distracted, I have a dog. And that's about me. I don't do much else.
Next up, Bird vs. Plane.
Hey, I'm Bird versus Plane. This was a lot of fun, this session. I like sessions where like everyone gets to shine in their own way. So this was really nice. You can find me on Twitter, as I type it out now, at Bird vs. Plane. You can find me on Twitch, playing some Monster Hunter. I've probably been playing Monster Hunter for quite some time. That game is great. If you have it, join the Discord, join us on PS4. Let's go hunt some stuff.
Nice Runner Squad!
Squad! Energy 9.
Hello, I am Energy9 on Twitch, where I live stream video games and curse a whole lot. That game is normally Monster Hunter recently, so playing some of that. I'm Energy98 on Twitter. I occasionally live tweet stuff. I make bad jokes, but never bad puns, because no puns are bad. They're just not appreciated.
Right.
I'm also a player on T. Fredrickson's 80 channel, her Sunday game, Essel the Power Within, at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now. Along with True North, where I play Claudio Vanguard, a very different character.
Next up, let's go with Good Guy Pie.
I am Good Guy Pie, and you know, we have good sessions, we have bad sessions, and then we have sessions where I'm nearly bored to tears. I'm fine, and you know, I loved the end of the session. It was actually really nice. Nothing happened at the beginning of the session. Don't go back and rewatch it. Nothing happened. Everything is fine. We are fine. We are happy. We are having good times here. Everything is fine.
Who did you say you were again? Good guy. Who are you?
I was playing the gold, I think.
Who are you again? Who are you?
Okay, I get the point. I get the point. Thanks. You can find me on Twitter at 2good2guy. You can find me pretty much anywhere else as Good Guy Pie. And check out the tree folks on the Discord, please. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a lot of crying to do.
Next up, we've got True North.
So, yes, I'm True North. I was playing Kel. Still mixed feelings about what's going on, because who knows where it's going to go. But, yeah, amazing session. As for what I do this, which you've just been enjoying, hopefully. 2 p.m. Saturdays, Eastern Daylight Time. Sunday mornings, if we're going to have it tomorrow morning, Dungeons and Coffees, 8 a.m. Eastern. And as NG9 said, 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday on T. Fredrickson 80's channel for Essel of the Power Within, where I make my cape billow effectively behind me, and Claudia's brother is a dick. And I also, as Tall Skull mentioned, write music for and inspired by our wonderful campaign here. And if you want to go straight to the playlist, you can go to that link. Yes, because there's a playlist.
Look at
And and there is more music to come that I've been working on.
Yep, stuff yet to debut.
Stuff yet to debut, and so yeah, stay tuned for further developments. And then, of course, the question on all of our minds, because I can't not do this. That's for luck.
And last but not least, Dragons or Cats.
Oh, guys, this was a really nice session. It was chill. We had some disturbing moments. We helped people out. It's good. It's good. I'm very excited to see what happens in Gambit's run. It's going to be good fun. I can't wait to see who's going to drown first and what happens with these Fae.
Not Luna.
Not Luna.
It's true.
No. Oh, yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah, Luna probably won't drown.
Yeah, no, she'll be fine.
Bludgeoning still hurts, but drowning, that won't happen.
Yeah.
Well, canonly, I'll just wake up at another point somewhere. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. But you can find me on the internet and on Twitter and Twitch as Dragons or Cats, where I play a lot of Monster Hunter as well. Let's get on that bandwagon. Life Squad Runners. And I also do a for charity D&D game on Wednesday night, Australian. Well, I think it's still going to be 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time for one more week.
There you have it. Yeah. I am. Did we get Tree Younger? Yeah. Poor Tree did not come out.
Aww.
Oh. Tree Hugging Druid is amazing. You can follow her on things. She plays in games and stuff, and she's an awesome person and is chargerless. So unfortunately, is not with us right now. But if she shows back up, I will pop her on. Otherwise, I am Tall Squall. You can find me here at 2 o'clock on Saturdays and at 6 o'clock on Saturdays on the Dungeons and Dragons channel playing Learn by Play. On Mondays, you can find me usually on the Turncloaks podcast. And on Tuesday, again, these two. And on Tuesday, you can find me on the Long March over on Encounter Roleplay Station. As I said, we do run our channel 100% for charity. Please do check out the Mr. Holland Opus Fund Foundation, which gives instruments to underfunded music programs. And until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that's what it's all about. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.